What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the.
Hello, chat. How we doing this evening? I hope everybody is doing well. I just watched one of the apologies and yeah. Dude, I wasn't this part of the story was not in my bingo card, okay? This part of the story was not in my bingo card. But, here we are. I should say some very interesting and elucidating pieces of information and drama happened recently. Some of which derailed some what's an apology? Yeah, well, okay. So Cataclysm, I've been covering this pretty consistently on the channel, right? Right. I've been covering this pretty consistently about Cataclysm and Denki Jabo and fucking Louis McClung. And the story has just like developed into just insanity, right? Like Denki Jabo had to clap back on them because of their ignorance, and it absolutely owned them. And now here we are where these fine folk are apologizing. So they accuse a guy. There was some pedo jacketing going on. I go over the stream in a previous stream. I'll probably just make a playlist of all the streams in case you haven't seen the other two. But Cataclysm and Louis McClung have apologized now, not once, but twice. Okay. And so we'll go over both apologies. I'll do a little bit of an apology review. And then we're going to cover some schizo stuff because I've been watching it and you all know that my Twitter feed is really bad. And I gotta share a little bit of some of my thoughts and feelings. But with that, I should also say I contacted Louis McClung. Okay. I contacted Louis McClung and Louis sent me his Discord. So I will be trying to set up an interview with Louis in the future. And we will be having a long talk about this and some other things because Lewis has some prior dramas that he didn't really get any backlash for. So we'll be sitting down and we'll be having a pretty. I'm hoping that he's open to having a tough conversation. Papa Gut was really nice. I think Papa Gut did a good job interviewing them. But you guys know how I interview people, so we'll see how that goes, right? If I have experience and marinate on this content by myself, I'm gonna be a Grippy Sock Vacation. Streaming is cheaper, diesel probably. But yeah, I started an apology tier list on Twitter. Let's see if Diesel rates Kate higher than. We'll start with Lewis, since you know what, we'll start with Katie because Lewis is kind of like the main character in a way. Somehow Katie is not the main character.
I just want to start off the video by
So one of the things I thought that was really interesting is how Lewis McClung covered or like apologized to Danky Jabbo by basically like the asexual thing was really like really important to his audience, right? The sexual identity conversation was really important to his audience. And let me just tell you to that audience, right? That is bad, right? That you made a guy have to out his sexuality. But the word that's barely anything, right? That's barely anything. Ultimately, that is somebody's like private life, and they can keep that private if they want to. But what's actually dangerous is you spreading misinformation about people to discredit them and destroy their livelihood, right? You know, he could have or could not have been flirting with Katie or whatever the fuck. Clearly, he wasn't. But what's bad is that you deliberately shared false information about a guy and tried to ruin him and then didn't give him a chance to get some recompense here, right? That's way worse. And then again, Lewis was doubling down on that live stream where it appeared to me that he was trying to pedo jacket the situation, moving the goalposts significantly. Cataclysm was incredibly horrible and toxic in her stream. Pretty much all of it was complete conjecture and nonsensical schizo posting. This girl is definitely disingenuous as fuck. All right. Beckett still has not receded that he is wrong. But yeah. So we'll talk about Katie. She had lots of very unhinged interactions with Danky. Danky showed those things in his video, and now she is apologizing for that now. I'm also very sure the extent of the PDF stuff is going to be he's 16, 17 when he was 18 because Danky Jabbo is like 20. Yeah, it has to be like that. I guarantee you it's like that.
I just want to start off the video by saying an apology to Danky Jabbo. The live stream that I did before was pointless, and it was ultimately based off of no real evidence that I had, and if I was going to come and talk about our conversation, I should have had receipts. So
I think that this is a really interesting statement to start with on this apology, right? She's saying that the stream was like had no evidence, right? But remember in that stream, she, in my opinion, I think she was projecting her abuse onto Danky Jabbo. Okay, I think she was projecting her abuse onto Danky Jabbo and assuming he was a type of way based off of her past experiences with men, right? And generally, I would say with most things, don't generalize, right? I think it's a good attitude to have if we're talking about serious stuff like this, right? Again, I heard, you know, Dr. K, it's like a rule in his community, and you can feel however you want about Dr. K as a streamer or mental health guy or whatever, but one of the rules they have for their community is that, like, if you're like an incel or like a femcel or something, if you want to talk about like men or women, right, you can't talk about in generalities like all men treat me like shit, right? The men I've interacted with treat me like shit. Those are two very different sentences, right? One is pointing out like the entire gender axis way. One is saying my personal experiences have been like this, right? So it's two very different things.
Real evidence that I had, and if I was going to come and talk about our conversation, I should have had receipts. I should have been able to show things.
I should have had receipts. This is all really good to do post hoc, right? But the fact that they didn't sit around and actually think about these things in the moment, when you are a commentary channel, right? If you're a commentary channel and you don't have receipts and you don't pull up your shit, why are you even doing this? I wouldn't trust somebody who's not able to provide receipts when they're covering a drama or expose or something like that, right? It like she has a recent video. I think let me go to it. Right? She has a recent video on, I believe. Oh, okay. So on Ariana Grande, right? Like a TikTok girl cosplays Ariana Grande to sell OF. Now remember, she's an anti-sex work girly, right? And you know, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I do get the vibe she's a turf, but again, I'm just spitting my shit. I don't have any evidence for that, right? So I'm just saying that's like the vibe I get, and I'm allowed to have an opinion. All right, it's just based off of her rancid attitude and her bangs. Yeah, she does have turf bangs. No fucking way. No fucking way. No fucking way you hit that right before her. What's a turf? It's a trans exclusionary radical feminist. So they're feminist and they believe in women's rights, but in that conversation about women's rights, they tend to exclude trans women, saying that trans women aren't women. They also tend to carry a lot of the beliefs that a lot of like fundy like conservatives have, right? Where it's like, oh, anybody who's trans, male to female, is just that way because they have like some weird sexual deviancy. I mean, you know, Bo Black's is the exception, but you know, she's been called a swerf on her Twitter. Yeah, but it's just a vibe. But it's like, okay, like if you're gonna cover this,
Have you seen?
right? Is this just her talking about like a right? So she's brought evidence here in the form of like TikToks and shit, right? But if she knows how to download a TikTok, I'm certain she knows how to get other shit. All right.
To be flourishing within your growth.
Also, that's a really great cosplay of Ariana Grande. A little weird, but whatever.
Within yourself, within your own unique kind of being.
Hopefully she. This is for later, by the way. This is for later.
That what I was talking about actually had
In my experience, the TERFs I've dealt with also hate sex workers.
substance. I want to apologize for that live stream being so all over the place, and I want to apologize for making you feel as if you had no other choice but to make a video, because ultimately, whatever.
Hold on. I read the chat and then I don't hear what they're saying. So if I go back a little bit, that's why, because I'm reading your chat.
Actually had substance. I want to apologize for that live stream being so all over the place, and I want to apologize for making you feel as if you had no other choice but to make a video, because ultimately whatever was said on our call was not anybody else's business other than our own, and I should have been more mature just to sit down with you and have these conversations and hash it out in private rather than take it public. I do want to make it so inherently clear to everybody watching this and anybody who is upset by the situation that I know no matter what I say, it doesn't matter. Whatever reasoning I give does not matter. The outcome has meant that a person has had to come online and defend themselves based off of ultimately was a private phone call that I was not happy with the result of.
Okay. That's a very again, it's like you, even prior to the phone call, had this entire preconception about Danky Jabo. You misrepresented him as a person before that call even happened. You thought he was a certain way before you got there. You received these messages before, right? You just completely read his character as a person wrong. And then when you didn't get a gotcha in the call, you decided to go run with whatever you had in a stream. Right? So it's not like this call is the linchpin situation that determined all the actions. I think from the moment you got those messages about the annoying orange, you had an opinion on Danky Jabo, and then you went and you ran with it. All of that other stuff exists downstream of the initial incident. Her apologies have a hint of confrontation, I feel. I mean, it's like, an apology is never an apology to the person, right? It's always like an apology to your audience or to save your credibility. So, like, I understand that, like, when I give reviews of an apology and I actually try to give constructive criticism, and I am going to give constructive criticism in this one because we've had our fun, we've had our laughs, but when you talk about giving an apology, here's who you're giving it to, right? And it's in this order, right? You got to give it to the person that you fucked up with first. Then you give it to your audience, but you got to make it sound like the audience isn't involved in the equation, okay? And then you got to make it sound like you're taking accountability. Now, whether or not you actually take accountability or not is another story, right? But the idea with it is this. You basically, let's say, like in this situation, for example, right? You want to apologize to Danky Jabbo first, but then you also want to tell your audience, because you're a commentary YouTuber, that you're still trustworthy, that you had a continuous and severe lapse in your judgment, if you will, right? But you want to be, and another thing you want to do, there's a lot of tone things, and this is actually a good tone that she's doing with it. You don't cry in an apology. You don't meander. You edit it down. You have it written out in advance, and no sighs, no turning off the camera, no hitting the record button to start it, no music, no edits.
I do have.
Yeah, she was trying to hash it out in private and got angry when she didn't get a rise out of him. Yeah.
However, want to make it clear that in the call I had with Jesse, it was not made clear that he was not friends with Alex.
I explained exactly
It
to
was
Cataclysm
not made clear that he was not friends with Alex.
what I've been explaining to you.
The reality is that you do not get to know whether or not he is friends with Alex. Being friends with somebody doesn't why does somebody need to purity test who they hang around with in private, right? There are people that I talk to and I'm friendly with that I do not agree with many of their beliefs, you know? Like there's plenty of people that I respect and have conversations with and I'm cordial with and would probably even have a beer with. Actually, I'd love to have a beer with a lot of them. But, like, I don't agree with them on, like, tons of things, primarily political things. But that's, like, a given, especially in commentary.
This video I edited for Alex. I was grateful for the opportunity that he gave me, that we were never friends, and I haven't spoken to him in months.
Now, I also acknowledge that
But, okay, yeah, why is there a rebuttal there? That is a good point, right? Like, it's like, it wasn't made clear versus what Danky said, where he said it was made clear.
that in the call I had with Jesse.
So it's like, oh, I did this based off of false knowledge because it wasn't clear in the conversation I had. Like, so, like that's not a justifiable rebuttal at all.
It was not made clear that he was not friends with Alex.
I explained.
Like that doesn't matter whether or not. Like, again, all of this exists downstream that you thought he was like a misogynistic fuck ass, right? Like, and also the call is recorded.
Exactly to Cataclysm what I've been explaining to you this video I edited for Alex. I was grateful for the opportunity that he gave me, that we were never friends.
Yeah, you have proof it was recorded, so why am I supposed to take your word?
And I haven't spoken to him in months.
Now, I also acknowledge that that is none of my business. It is not my business whether Danky Jabbo is friends with Alex or not. Obviously, I had the right to be privately upset about that, but I didn't have the right to come online. I just wanted to make it, though, abundantly clear, mine and Jesse's conversation did not end with a conclusion about his relationship with Alex. What I said on my live stream where I stated that he said to me, I would rather not talk about it, and then went on to sing Alex's praises is true. Can I prove that, though? No.
So why are you even mentioning it? Part of the problem and the reason that we ended up getting here is because you guys presented things without evidence. You've already shown that you're not trustworthy, and now you're really, like, you're literally just repeating it again, but this time trying to, like, do it with egg on your face.
Should I have come online with no proof? No, I shouldn't have. It was ridiculous. And what did I expect from making that video? I wanted him to take accountability. But
this is always the annoying shit, right? It's always like these young people being like, I just wanted him to take accountability. No, you wanted to fuck him over, man. Like, let's just be frank about it. This isn't an apology, it's a response. Yeah, you wouldn't have included any of this extra shit if it was an apology.
Alex, what I said on my live stream where I stated that he said to me,
and also the way he ended the if that's how he ended the conversation, that also doesn't mean that the prior things he said earlier are true, right? He could have said earlier in the discussion, this is my like relationship with Alex. I was grateful for the opportunity. It was a working relationship, and that's it. And then they could have talked about something else, or they could have talked about nothing else, or he could have given the answer, and then Katie could have continued prying for information about Alex. Okay? Like both can be true. Danky Jabo's presentation of the facts has not been proven false, and what you said could still fit within the narrative that Danky Jabo has presented, who has presented himself as a much more trustworthy narrator in these situations. So it's very possible that he could have said, this was my relationship with Alex earlier in the call. And then later on, you brought it up again. And he said, I don't want to talk about it.
I would rather not talk about it, and then went on to sing Alex's praises, is true. Can I prove that though? No. Should I have come online with no proof? No, I shouldn't have. It was ridiculous. And what did I...
So I'm sorry, but if you had proof that they were friendly in the past, would you have still come online with it? Because that's what it sounds like this apology is. It sounds like I would have come online if I had proof that he was friends with Alex. But again, what does it matter if he's friends with Alex? He's not running like some weird astroturfing campaign for Alex. He's not running defense for Alex. He's not doing anything for Alex.
Expect from making...
What can he do for Alex? He's like a YouTuber with over 100K subs. Alex is like a 1 million+ sub YouTuber, okay? The difference in value as a person is just insane there.
That video, I wanted him to take accountability. But ultimately, the one in the wrong here was me. I shouldn't have jumped online to do a live stream because I was upset. I should have hashed it out in DMs with him and had my problem with him. I understand, and I completely am genuinely so apologetic because I understand that what I said and what I did in that live stream has meant that a hate mob was sent to him.
Yes. And there's evidence to suggest that you coordinated with friends to do so.
Am I the only one who tips you in Streamlabs? Don't people know that it takes less money from you?
That's true. That's true. It does take less money. Thank you, by the way. People like using super chats because it's like right there, you know?
I want to apologize for the fact that my videos resulted in so many people being
like I don't understand what. Listen, I'm sorry, and you know, Beckett's talked about it a lot, and I was like, the only reason I say don't send harassment to people that I cover is because, you know, people will use the argument that, like, it can be used as an argument in litigation, right? That's really it. It can be used as an argument in litigation that you send a hate mob. You guys are grown adults, okay? I expect you to operate on your own accord. If you literally are so mentally dysfunctional that you want to enact internet justice by commenting something mean online, that's really soy, but, like, I can't fucking stop you, all right? But it's another thing to, like, woke scold and then talk with your homies, Alice included, okay? And just run out and like present information without evidence.
Disgustingly racist to him in his comment section, being nasty about...
Yeah, of course they were going to be disgustingly racist to him. Okay, you presented him being like, oh, today he's just being misogynistic. Tomorrow he could hit women. Oh boy, I'm sure that's going to do great for the representation of brown men in sexual violence. Right? I'm sure we've never heard about those kind of things being labeled at minority men.
His appearance and just coming for stuff that was ultimately not relevant. I also should have not come for stuff that wasn't relevant. I shouldn't have made jokes about him potentially being a porn addict. That was out of pocket. And I am...
Yeah, well, you know, the thing is, that tells me you think that a lot all the time, dude. I know you think that a lot all the time. It's an issue you're very, very passionate about. and you're allowed to be passionate about it, right? But you need to present evidence. You need to show up to the game with stuff on the plate, all right? If it's like, if you found Denki Jabo's goon account, where it's him goon maxing and he's like rating how much he goons, then yeah. But it's just like, you reach that conclusion based off of your personal experiences and life philosophy, okay?
I'm really sorry that that resulted in him feeling like he had to talk about his sexuality. I never even had considered that, and that proves how short-minded I was in this situation.
Well, that also just goes to show you how dangerous and how, like, ridiculous it could be to engage in these, like, terminally online Twitter, like, political debate bro stuff, right? Because debate bro stuff, and that is debate bro stuff, to, like, you know, the swerve stuff, that's debate bro stuff. It's way past the Overton window of what most normal people would talk about when they talk about feminism, right? It's just way beyond what people are talking about, all right? But it's like, if you're going to talk about stuff like that, you better be ready to make some people really fucking upset, all right? Because that's going to be directly in the line of people's livelihoods, of people's sexual identity, right? You got to be comfortable being like, I'm saying something mean. But if you're not ready for that conversation, you shouldn't be in that place.
And I'm really sorry that that was something that happened, and nothing I will say will make up for that. I am just truly, genuinely apologetic. I do want to address the accusations that are coming to me, because I feel like if I don't address these things, people are going to think, well, you did them then. But again, it's a difficult situation, because I understand also me combating these allegations may come across as me saying that I'm not sorry. I am very sorry for the live stream I made. I'm sorry for bringing mine and his private phone call drama, which ultimately that's all it boiled down to, online, was a petty and very silly thing to do. And at my size and me as a creator, by now I should have realized that I shouldn't have done that. People seem to believe that
Commodore
I accused
Chomp
them of being a
celebrates 10 months of membership. Can you please stim with your cursor around the star?
Is it pink reference while talking about Smart Schoolboy 9 is a choice, when for most women it's only pink pre-puberty, most certainly a choice. Exactly.
Not only did I never even say anything about anything being pink, but Katie is now just insinuating that I was somehow referencing anything to do with pedophilia or underage girls, which is incredibly insulting, obviously incorrect, and seriously damaging.
I can't explain how uncomfortable that makes me feel. That
Okay. You were agreeing with a chatter who said something that you agreed with. Sometimes my chatters say things that I agree with. You said exactly. That's like saying, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, that's right. That's called agreeing, motherfucker.
Obviously incorrect and seriously damaging.
I can't explain how uncomfortable that makes me feel, that that is something that people have taken from that live stream. I never said Jesse was a I was talking about the fact that he used the term beef curtains in a derogatory term, and me and my chat got into a conversation about where beef curtains comes from.
And you were wrong, motherfucker, and you were fucking wrong. Dude. This isn't an apology at all.
Incredibly insulting, obviously incorrect, and seriously damaging.
I can't explain how uncomfortable that makes me feel, that that is something that people have taken from that live stream. I never said Jesse was a I was talking about the
you hit the nail on the head, Diesel, but I'm not agreeing. What's up, British Runner? How you doing?
fact that he used the term beef curtains in a derogatory term, and me and my chat got into a conversation.
You were like day one, man says something misogynistic on the internet. Day 365, man pours boiling water down my chest. Okay, or down anybody's chest.
About where beef curtains comes from, the implications of that phrase. I said that the term beef curtains is rooted in racism and
Reading through the comment section, there's a lot of glazing for her. I'll explain why Lewis's audience and why Katie's audience might be pretty nice about the apologies that were given.
misogyny. I shouldn't have gone on a side rant about the roots of a word that I was upset that he used, because of course people are going to think that implies that I'm saying he is said things. I do not think
that you implied that he was a misogynist. and that misogynists act out violence on women, which, you know, is possible. I'd like to see the rate of difference between that, right? But like the implication with what you said and the thesis statement behind it is that Denki Jabo is misogynistic. Misogynistic men enact violence on women. Ergo, Denki Jabo could in the future enact violence on women. That is a thesis to line train of thought. All right. And it is not a hard one to connect the dots to. That's really easy. I can talk about how strange it is that Dr. Disrespect may or may not have been talking to a minor. Right? And then that Dr. Disrespect may or may not say violent things online. And then I could make the connection and easily say that he'll enact violence on a child based on my prior information. That's probably a bad example now that I think about it. As a British man myself, I've never heard beef curtains as a racist comment. Also, what's your go-to pizza? I'm a Hawaiian guy. Beef curtains and meat curtains seem to be interchangeable, making the focus more on the curtains part than the beef part that comes from the fact that the labia look like... Yeah, yes! Dude, I've never talked about women's anatomy more in my life than these last few streams. You're insane. I know, it's a very contentious issue. I know Hawaiian pizza is a contentious issue. Listen, I started eating it because Michelangelo ate it and he's in the Ninja Turtles, okay? It was popularized in an era of British queer culture where a lot of queer folks refer to genitalia as foods and food products. Shout out to Chatter Rutusi for finding this. I'd love to get like some etymology that could link back to the origin of the term. I could totally see it coming from queer culture. I don't know what it is. It's like Gen X queer people and late millennials are way more comfortable with things in queer culture than like young Zoomers and millennials. And then like that like group is like very puritanical about it. Like I would not be surprised if I saw like a Zoomer getting like really up in arms about like gay people kissing despite being like for gay marriage or something. Does this mean Katie hates Arby's? Probably.
Think he was racist at all.
I don't know why Zoom. You know, I was thinking about this. I feel like we're partially to blame, and by we I mean YouTubers and creators, because, and it's kind of like people always talk about, oh, I'm being censored online, right? But like very quickly, we don't get censored like the people online say they're being censored. The reason why is because like I can cover whatever I want on YouTube, but if I cover certain things, I won't make money from it because YouTube has deemed those things too dangerous to be advertised with, right? So like Onision isn't like always gets yellowed or always gets demonetized, right? So it always gets demonetized. So what do you do as a YouTuber? You don't talk about Onision, right? There's all these systems in place online that can implicitly control what I do or do not say, right? And what I like discuss online, right? So I'm incentivized to talk about things that give me a green dollar sign and disincentivized to not talk about things that don't give me a green dollar sign, which is where a lot of this like influencer speak comes from, right? Where you're like self-delete, unalive, where we're censoring words that like, you know, like kill, rape, stuff like that, right? Kill, rape, yada, 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 right? All of that stuff, right? You're not allowed to say, especially on TikTok, you'll get like sandbox. Your content will be sandboxed. So you have to keep it like very, very, you know, brand friendly, right? And I think a lot of that has kind of moved into broader culture and you know, definitely exacerbated this like strange like purity issue that's coming from like the younger generations. It's just what I think and what I see. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I do think how the social media platforms we use allow us to talk about or not talk about things definitely control what we think, not explicitly, but implicitly, right? So, for example, the stuff with the Luigi. Now, I'm a big Luigi stan, and we all know Luigi is on trial for. I mean, I didn't see him there that day, so I don't think he did it. But Luigi, he shot a healthcare CEO, and somebody was making memes about him, about Luigi, and they got their entire channel demonetized for promoting violence. Now, I would never promote violence, okay? But I had to stop joking about it, in particular with that situation, because the tech oligarchs that control the fucking country probably don't want us to talk about it, right? So it's implicitly controlling what I can and can't talk about because my money is on the line. I just think they weren't bullied enough. Yeah, see, the thing is I think that's a really big simplification of how we're developing people as a culture. But I don't know. Allegedly, of course, about all of this. I hate watching a serious video on something tragic and then words like unlike and self-delete get used, watering down the conversation. Yeah. Yeah, it's like this hard mix of like you can't like go and be serious in these things because of
Baba Booey. If you spend your life looking for unicorns, you're gonna find unicorns everywhere. People who see the negative in everything will find it.
I mean, yeah, that's true. And like I'll also say I think there's a lot of good things about like the late millennial Zoomer generation too. I know I'm talking and complaining about that, but that's just because a lot of my content has featured a lot of those individuals lately. Um, I mean, you're probably not going to find a more specialized generation than the Zoomers. You're not going to be able to find like maybe late Zoomers struggle with technology, but like the late millennials, early Zoomers are really good with technology. Like there are good things. It's just like this is an issue that's been more prescient lately to me. I feel like when you have to skirt around serious issues like insert words that get you demonetized here, it's like when you don't teach children proper anatomical verbiage, it lessens the seriousness. Yeah. I'm just old, so they annoy me with their thought police thing. Yeah, there's definitely I don't know. It's just it's something that like I think about a lot, and I try to think about like how do these things impact the way we interact with like the internet at large and how that might transfer to how we act in public or with our personal relationships. I also think a lot of like commentary content has been around like this pedo chasing thing. So it's like we hear about I know there was that guy on Tinder who was like 22 and he was going to meet up with a girl who was 18 and then like a bunch of other Zoomers beat the shit out of him or something, right? Where I think a lot of that exists downstream of the content they were watching online. I'm not saying that if you watch a YouTube video, you're gonna go commit an act of violence. I think people are encouraged to act certain ways based off of their media diet, right? So it's important to get a media diet that shows you, oh, not all the pedo catchers are real. Some of them are fake fucking liars, like Mama Max, right? Maybe they were Mama Max fans. I mean, yeah, well, that's like the thing, right? I think a lot of people, myself included, right? Because Mama Max was like cool at one point, right? So you'd watch Mama Max, and then as like a creator, you're like, I want to do that because he's fucking people up. He's doing it. He's making a difference, right? And when you're young, you want to make a difference, right? And as a result, you might end up doing something you definitely shouldn't. But I do agree. I think more problems could be solved if people just got in a coliseum. Media doesn't well, like, okay, the argument is like, so boomers will be like, video games cause violence. Like, if you play Call of Duty, you'll know how to shoot people. Ergo, you will go out and shoot people, right? When it's more like, if you play video games all day, you could sit inside, and there's a lot of crazy people that exist online. You'll get encouraged to talk to those crazy people because you spend all day playing Call of Duty. Now you're in a Discord server where everybody talks about guns. Now that you're in the server where everybody talks about guns, you decide you're going to go buy a gun. Now you start going to the shooting range. You're a white male, and some of these guys come up to you at the shooting range. This actually happened to a friend of mine who was in the military. And then these guys come up to you and they say, hey, come to our book club, right? And you go to the book club because you want to make friends in real life because you like guns and these guys like guns and you're hanging out with them. Next thing you know, you're sitting in the fucking local chapter KKK meeting reading Mein Kampf with your white homies, right? And they say, maybe we should do something about this. And then so you go out and you do something about it, and it's not good, right? I hate it when it happens. That's real. That's real. I had a friend who was in the army, and he would go shooting at a range, and this was in Massachusetts when I lived in Massachusetts. And they pulled up in like a remade World War II tank, German World War II tank, and the guys that stepped out of it were fucking neo-Nazis. Right? But this isn't something that happens overnight, right? This was like something that happened over a long period of time, right? I'm giving like a hypothetical, but that's like, people don't wake up one day and then go on r/ like incel, okay, and then like figure out how to be like a hater of women, right? It's like it's a slow burn, right? It doesn't happen instantly. Happened to my buddy Eric. I swear to God, this is a real guy. This is a real guy.
But of course, I apologize for the stream being so ridiculously all over the place and having ultimately no basis of a kind of real accusation other than the fact that I didn't get an answer of whether he was friends with him or not. It was all a load of irrelevant bullshit that I shouldn't have been talking about. But I also wanted to address, I think I briefly just covered the pedophile accusations, because I never said he was a pedophile, nor do I believe he is a pedophile. I have not made that statement at all. Much like I didn't say he was an...
Yeah, that was enough to plant the seed, okay? That was enough to plant the seed. And I really don't think it's surprising that it seemed like Lewis was kind of like, you know, gilding the lily, saying that he had evidence of that, okay? Friend life experience. So I stumbled upon the KKK, diesel life experience. So I dumped oil out the window to impress a girl. Listen, guys, listen. You gotta go outside and develop some of these insane stories. Personally, at 26, I think my life is getting way too boring. I need to do something stupid.
Abuser, and I did not say he was a racist. Now, obviously, my stream is deleted because I did.
You implied racially motivated connotations there. You definitely did. Okay, right? So you don't need to say I think he's a racist to say he's a racist, right? So that's what we call saying the quiet part out loud, right? If I got on a stream and I, like, for example, I don't know, Katie, whether or not you are a TERF, right? But I say, I think Katie's a TERF. That's me saying the quiet part out loud. If I were to say something like, you know, Katie has really interesting views on feminism, you know, I wonder where someone who's a sex work exclusionary feminist would be on the issue of trans women. I don't know if that would be something we'd want to hear about. I think a lot of people would be upset if we heard her opinion on that. Right? So that's me wording it in a way where I'm implying what your belief is, but I'm not saying what your belief is, right? So you can do those things, right? When I do a video on Jake Doolittle, right? When I did my video on Jake Doolittle, I didn't say, I don't think Jake Doolittle's disabled. I said, there's a lot of videos of Jake Doolittle dancing and being able-bodied and putting himself in situations that would exacerbate a disability if he had one. If you are not stupid, I am saying the same thing. One way, it's not saying the quiet part out loud.
deleted it when I realized that he was not friends with Alex anymore, and that was cleared up. The stream got deleted.
He has stated that he was never friends with Alex, not that he was not friends with Alex anymore. Your position literally hasn't changed. Your position is that he was friends with Alex and that he's not friends with Alex.
Now, I know a lot of people may think that is me running away and not.
As someone who was a bouncer at a drag show bar in the early 2000s when he was 20, y'all need to go outside more. Get some stories under your belt.
Dude, Q's stories are great. Q has some wild stories.
Not taking accountability, but I just didn't want to keep it up because it's not fair on him anymore now that everything has been cleared up.
Well, the thing is, you taking it down makes it more difficult for people to understand the context of this apology, right? So I think taking it down is a problem, but it's okay because people like me and by the way, other streamers have asked for the videos and stuff like that. I put together like a entire Google Drive folder of some of the work that was gathered together, and it's been shared around, right? So if people are going to cover it, they're going to cover it. But when you take down a stream like that, it's going to end up deleting context from the conversation. And then we have to trust your word that you're being honest with us.
I know that was my mistake because I should have deleted it previously as he didn't owe me anything to be cleared up. But obviously watching his response video, it made me change my mind about the way that I approach things and made me think about how I would have affected him as a person. I truly apologize for that stream. It was ridiculous to make, and I've been reflecting about it and thinking, what did I expect from that? I don't know what I expected. And the baseless accusations on him being an abuse apologist are correct. I did make baseless accusations because him not telling me whether he was friends with Alex or not is not a good
and by the way, when you say someone is an abuse apologist, that's also like I think you would be an abuser. That's what you're saying. I think you would abuse somebody if given the chance, right? It like agreeing that abuse is okay is also like that might as well be saying the same thing. Like those two things mean the same thing.
It's not enough evidence. That him not an abuse apologist are correct. I did make baseless accusations because him not telling me whether he was friends with Alex or not is not a good it's not enough evidence. That is not evidence, and I am stupid for even thinking that.
Cataclysm even justifies her harassment towards me as putting a stop to my future abuse, comparing me to her ex-boyfriend who she said had poured boiling water over her, and telling people that if she didn't put a stop to me now, that I could end up like this.
For context for the following clip, I was talking here about the idea of Denki Jabba potentially making light of an abuser and joking about it, and how that contributes to said person thinking that they can get away with their abuse. I was not saying that Jesse here is the person who would become the abuser. Yes, you were. It was in reference to how you don't call someone out for their behavior worsens. This is taken out of... Okay, that's the same thing. I'm not saying that Jesse here would become the abuser. It was reference to how if you don't call someone out, their behavior worsens. So if you didn't call Jesse out, he would have become worse, which would have meant that he would have become an abuser. So that means the same thing. You are saying the same thing. Oh my God. This is taken out of context to seem as if I was implying Jesse would become worse. You were implying that Jesse would become worse. There is a clip of you doing that. Okay? And guess what? The only way that we're going to get the clip is if... This motherfucker is so disingenuous. She's not sorry for shit.
But in all seriousness, guys, you know, this type of behavior is only the beginning. You know,
this type of behavior is only the beginning, which implies that it will go to another place.
I've seen... more often than not when stuff is just surface level, it gets worse and worse, you know? Something that...
It gets worse and worse. You cut out the part about the fucking boiling water shit.
Was definitely a bad move was for me to talk about my ex in the same sentence. I do not want to go into me talking about my abusive relationship. It's not...
You've made it your brand!
Relevant, and I would by no means want it to come across as if I am, you know, trying to play the victim card, because that's not what I want. But I would say I shouldn't have spoke about that in the same breath as him. Although I was trying to talk about why I was so upset about the fact that I didn't know if he was friends with Alex, I deserve to be held accountable for doing that stream. And
the implications with that, you are literally lying. Like that is like you trying to weasel your way out of that is fucking insane. Okay, the implications with that are very obvious and clear. All right, you're not like a fucking philosopher here. All right, this isn't like no Plato Socrates debate. All right, this is you saying something very obvious and making illusions that Denki Jabba would have acted that way in the future had he not been stopped. I'm putting a stop to this guy who's being bad. How are these apologies received? Really well. And I'll explain why after I watch Lewis's, why I think that these were taken very well.
Deserve to be held accountable for forcing him to make a video and messaging him and kind of putting Instagram stories up that were really petty and stupid and irrelevant. And I hold my hands up to that wholeheartedly. And obviously I don't expect people to trust me. I don't expect people to...
Did you apologize to him personally, or did you just produce this video with no conversation with him? Did you have like an exit conversation?
To even want to watch me anymore. If you're someone that is upset with me, that is perfectly reasonable. It was a stupid decision and I made that decision and I'm old enough to know better. Obviously, I have learned from this. That doesn't mean much. You can only, I guess you can only see...
I apologize, but also you're stupid, misunderstood me, but I'm sorry. Oh my God. This isn't an apology at all, right? Because I say this all the time where it's like an apology can be like 2 minutes long, right? I did this stupid thing. This is the stupid thing I did. I'm sorry for doing the stupid thing. The stupid thing won't happen again. I will work on it in the future. That's it. That's all an apology needs to be, right? We don't need any of this pomp and circumstance. We don't need any of the extra stuff around it. If you're apologizing for something stupid and you realize that you've done something stupid, keep it short and simple, all right?
From my actions. Actions do speak louder than words. That's something I've preached time and time again. And yeah, I just think me apologizing is only going to do a certain amount. I guess it all boils down to how I act in the future and how I change up my approach to dealing with things that upset me, because that's ultimately what this was caused by. Thank you guys a lot for listening. I'm taking full responsibility for that live stream because the way I did it was messy, and the original accusation of me calling him an abuse apologist has been disproven. And even if he hadn't disproven...
He shouldn't have had to listen. If you are bringing... Okay. All right. Excuse me for using legal Andy terms here, right? But the preponderance of evidence rests upon the accuser, not the accused. All right? You must provide evidence for claims that you are presenting if you are accusing somebody of a thing. Okay? If I just put out a video where it was just me talking to the camera saying, I don't think Jake Doolittle's disabled, that would have been received much worse than a video where I showed evidence of Jake Doolittle being able-bodied. Okay? Those two things do very different things.
I should have never...
And it is not up to Jake Doolittle to disprove my allegation, by the way. It is up to me to prove my allegation, okay?
Have done it. It was not my hill to die on, and I shouldn't have felt like I was this like savior. It was none of my business to talk about. Again, thank you.
She should have to prove he did abuse, not him disprove that he didn't, because that's open-ended and could just be fallen back on when they get pissed off again. Exactly. What is it? What is it? You can't prove a negative?
For watching this and spending the time to watch this. This is something that I will learn from, and...
If the beef curtains do not fit, you must quit.
Of course, I don't expect people just to be like, okay, you know, that's fine. What I did was wrong. I should not have made him out to be an abuse apologist. It's completely on me. It reflects clearly a lot about my brain and the way I view things and how...
Yes, you need to go to therapy because you see abusers everywhere.
Like, ultimately just biased and wrong it was. And yeah, again, to Danky Jabbo, I'm really sorry. You didn't deserve me to have put that on blast online. So, I'm sorry.
Not great. Why did these apologies feel like speed runs? My apology goes on to justify your actions, low-key blame him because you didn't get the answer you wanted. This is so obviously not an apology, just a way to win back fans, which will work since a lot of them seem gullible enough. Yeah, that's true. You and Lewis were so confident. It's crazy. It honestly seems like you and Lewis made up some bullshit to be mad about to get a new topic to make videos about. You'll have nothing to work with. Wow. When I first saw this, they were getting a lot of, like, love. But now that I'm looking at this a few hours later, these motherfuckers are getting roasted, dude. I always wanted to be an internet personality, but I'm seeing more downsides than not at this point. I feel blessed I can simply watch from the sidelines as everything unfolds. Yes, 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 young person. Don't enter. Stop it. Stop it. We need to stop teaching kids that they can grow up and become an influencer. Fucking stop. I think you should all become astronauts and scientists and save the world and make this place a better world. You should contribute to society, and you're gonna like it. The Nick is not green effect. I diagnose you with normal human adulthood. Like two high school bullies creating rumors, getting caught, and forced to apologize. Everyone in a comment needs to stop being forgiving, especially for giving an apology the second it's given, and making comments before finishing the video. Don't forgive until you see actual change. That's very well said. Let's see. Apologies are always good. It's good to take accountability, but congratulating a creator, like most people in the comments, for an apology, which is a bare minimum in a situation like this, is stupid. Yes, a mistake is made, but don't glorify it by excuses for her. Katie's a grown woman and can make her own, can own up to her mistakes, which she did. The amount of people making excuses for her actions and congratulating her in the comments is actually baffling. The difference in this comment section and Lewis's comment section is so strange. Not gonna lie, this doesn't seem that apologetic. Sounds aggressive and confrontational. I could easily see her turning around being like, well, you guys are just saying that because I'm a woman. And I could easily see that. I am going to talk to Lewis at some point, so we'll see how much that holds up, but it has nothing to do with gender in this conversation. I could just see that being an easy go-to for somebody in this situation. Look at the replies. I want to see if they're fighting. No, please don't do that to me. Take it how you will, bro. She apologized. Get over it. You should play in Minecraft traffic. That's just how she naturally is, though. She can't change that. Oh, great. That's the biggest indictment of her character I could have heard from a fan. Oh my god. Diesel apologizes for being, like, overly rude to somebody. That's just how Diesel is. He's a bad person. I'm not a good person, by the way, but, you know, whatever, but... Oh my god. Ay, ay, ay. Oh... You and Lewis were so confident it's crazy. Well, he was making very not needed disrespectful jokes. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the fucking Gloria and Lola Bunny, are you serious? And they did have proof, and I saw the videos personally as well. And I don't care if a thing is normalized in Britain or whatever, because I did find it offensive. I do not see it as a joke. Americans in any conversation about another country ever, I don't like how these British people use the word cunt. I don't like how they say that word. No, sir. We're already going to get demonetized, so I said it. There you go. I committed the ultimate American taboo. I don't like how they use that word over there. They should talk like us. I've been around since you were doing Reddit videos with King Anna and Quackity Lamau. Damn, bro, you're old. You should get a mortgage, man. Quick, use other words, Diesel. Penis, penis, penis. I'm actually 17. Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing here? Ew, minor.
Guys, do you think I can fix her? Probably not.
Axis, I will not take you up on that offer. I don't know why saying dick in America is fine, but saying cunt isn't. I don't know why. I think that that's like a, I don't know, fucking something something the patriarchy, something something something. Something something infantilization of women. I don't know. Dick is a name, I guess. If you are named Dick, get that changed. Get that changed, because I will be like, hey, his name is Dick. I'm confused, though. What's the point of including the quote, he didn't make this relationship clear with Alex, and then saying, can I prove that? No. Should I have come online without proof? No. Why are you making a point to say that fact here again so adamantly without proof still is weird? I mean, like, he could have just ignored her or unfollowed Alex. Dude, I'm sorry. Why do we have to, like, curtail our behavior to some random fucko on the internet, okay? I'm glad people are saying this is not an apology. I must be missing the part where the audience forgiveness actually matters at all here. Forgive her or not, but I do not see how the fuck you have to forgive, honestly. A bunch of chronically on motherfuckers mulling over whether an inconsequential situation that didn't impact them deserves their forgiveness. Like, please touch grass. Papa Gut was not impressed. I heard he wasn't impressed. I heard. Well, let's watch Lewis's.
I'm really sorry.
Okay. I do want to say the amount of people in these comment sections glazing him are insane. Oh my god. Babe, wake up. New YouTuber apologies dropped. Is this not the second time in like the span of the month that Lewis has apologized for spreading false information? I think this says something. Is there like a video that goes okay, so Falgi, I don't know if you're in the chat, but is there like a video that goes over him falsely accusing that art tuber of being a pedophile? Because that had been something I wanted to look over, but I don't want to like if you can ping me to that if you know what it is, because that's something I haven't watched yet. Also, 2D, thank you for the 5 gifted, very poggies. I'm sorry. I know you're writing the script, Falgi. I'm sorry. If somebody else can do it, that's fine. I don't want you to stop writing the Grum script for that. I had a shit day. Somebody called me Pookie. 2D trash. You are Pookie, okay? You're very Pookie for that. Harley TBS. Oh boy. Thank you, Killjoy. Sure, that one's gonna be we're gonna lock in for that.
Sorry to Jen. I'm really sorry to.
I like how. Okay, all right. It is okay to do an apology on your channel with appropriate audio setups. By the way, just so you know. Okay.
To Jesse, to my audience, to his, to whoever overlaps. I'm sorry for any harm I caused by spreading my ideas as fact. I apologize for being forceful when trying to get an apology or a statement out of Jesse, when it was really not my place to do so, or my right to interject myself. I apologize to all my fans that I hurt by misplacing your trust, and I apologize to everyone who took my word as fact and then acted upon it, and now feels bad about doing so. And it's not your fault.
Okay, no. You didn't include that last sentence. This first start off, the first 30 seconds, this isn't that bad.
I'm really sorry. To Jesse.
To Jesse. Okay, correct person comes first. Okay.
my audience to his, to whoever.
I'm sorry. You don't need to mention the audience. We don't want to mention the audience in an apology. Okay? We don't want to say the quiet part out loud. I'm sorry for the damages my actions have caused. That's the kind of language we want to use here.
Overlaps. I'm sorry for any harm I caused by spreading my ideas as fact. I apologize for being forceful when trying to get an apology or a statement out of Jesse, when it was really not my place to do so, or my right to interject myself. I apologize to all my fans that I hurt by misplacing your trust, and I apologize to everyone who took my word as fact and then acted
I apologize for everyone who took my word as fact. I will try to do better in the future. End the video.
upon it, and now feels bad about doing so.
So I don't know what the rest of this 3 minutes could possibly be.
It's not your fault. It's mine for insinuating any of it. I apologize to Danky Jabot, Jesse, for making him feel
Okay, now he's like, he's repeating himself, you know? You know what? Okay, here's what I think. I think Lewis is an idiot. That's it. I think he's less disingenuous than Katie. I going through the rest of this, we'll see whether or not that changes. But it sounds like he was stupid and that was it, right? Where Katie sounds deliberately malicious, this guy sounds like he did something really stupid and out of his depth.
like he needs to out himself. That was never my intention, but it still happened, and I am still extremely sorry for doing so. Do not feel good about it in the slightest. As two ace people, I hope one day
I can't wait for one day where I get into an argument with another Puerto Rican creator. And then I say, as two Puerto Ricans, we should just all like reach a nice middle ground here.
in the very far future, that we can be part of the community together. I spoke
The Ace community. I love Ace Combat. It would be really great if we had more people in the Ace Combat community. Everyone that has reacted to Lewis believes that he does not pilot his own content. The way he spoke live about not remembering his video and claims was very bizarre. I'll ask him about that. I think that's a crackpot theory. I know we spoke about it a bit.
with Jesse last night at time of recording, and we had a very productive conversation considering. I mean, even without all of this, it still would have been a very productive conversation. Because I had some things in my possession, some quote-unquote evidence that if it was true, it would be very bad for him.
That was he clearly received evidence. Okay, first of all, let's think about it like this, guys. He had evidence. Let's assume that this information is pedo stuff, right? I think it's pedo stuff. Right? But let's say he made this entire exposed video on Danky Jabot, right? He's like, I'm gonna fuck over Jesse. And this entire time he was holding a message in his hands. He was holding this message, right, of Danky Jabot talking to a minor on Discord, right? Like that, right? And he said, I'm gonna put this in my pocket for a future video in case he talks about it later, right? So Lewis does his video, excludes that piece of information, and then teases that information for a future release. But that's just what I think. I'll sometimes deliberately hold information, right? But I'm very honest in saying, yeah, sometimes I hold information so that way I can fuck a guy over later. I've done that. But it also, if there's something legitimately criminal and something that is legitimately a problem, if something's legitimately criminal and legitimately a problem, I give it time, but two, it also goes straight to the feds. Okay.
Well, people saying I was blackmailing him. That was never my intention.
Okay, it's not. Well, listen, I understand that you probably didn't intend to blackmail him, but you can blackmail somebody without thinking in my head, I'm going to blackmail him, right? You can rob a store by accident by just like putting something in your fucking cart and walking out the store and being like, oh, I forgot to pay for it, right? That's still stealing, all right? You didn't realize you stole until after the fact, but you still did it.
In a live that I greatly regret doing. It was a huge mistake. I almost showed this, again, quote-unquote evidence, without consulting him. In the heat of the moment, when I almost showed it, I then also, in the heat of the moment, decided I shouldn't do this without talking to him. And by that point, it was too late, and I had already mentioned this quote-unquote evidence. I felt in the moment that I had to keep repeating myself, again, it was alive, and it was my fault that it was, which did come across like blackmailing, which was truly never my intention.
Yeah, again, Lewis, I understand you didn't intend to blackmail him, but you can still blackmail somebody by accident or without intending to do so.
I just wanted to talk to him.
Man, someone should interview this guy. I feel like, okay, Katie, I know I would never like her. I do not like her vibe. I don't resonate with it. This guy seems like he's kind of, you know, a doofus. But again, like, I don't know. My brother is his age, okay? My brother is his age. So I'm just thinking about like, oh, what if it was my brother in this situation?
Privately. Again, we had a very productive conversation, and I'm going to keep it private. I'm not going to show any receipts, considering the opposite is what got us here in the first place. For all of those who want to know more information, all I will say is that he gave me ample proof that this was misinformation, or at least blown out of proportion. It was never a problem, and it will never be a problem.
Let me listen back to that.
I just wanted to talk to him privately. Again, we had a very productive conversation, and I'm going to keep it private. I'm not going to show any receipts, considering the opposite is what got us here in the first place. For all of those who want to know more information, all I will say is that he gave me ample proof that this was misinformation.
So somebody deliberately spread false information that Denki Jabot is a pedo. That's what I'm hearing.
Or at least blown out of proportion. It was never a problem, and it will never be a problem. Also, I want it to be very clear. Katie did not come to me for me to make this video. I went to her to ask if she had any more evidence on the subject. She then just showed me what she had already posted on other sites like YouTube and Twitter, and I went on my way to make my script and then to make my video. For those who are mad at me, I do not.
Well, that's not good, right? When you cover people in news, you never want to rely on one source, okay? You never want to rely on one source. You want to corroborate a bunch of different sources together, so that way you have something that's well researched. It's like we're putting together an essay for school, right? But it's also like a little bit of a rhetoric essay, right? Where you're trying to present an argument and get people to agree with you, right? So don't do that. Don't listen to one person and go, oh, this person isn't lying to me, right? And I talk about this term a lot, right? I don't know if Lewis even knows I stream or if he knows about this. He messaged me during the stream, but I'm not looking at it right now because I'm focusing on this, right? I say this term a lot, and I'll repeat it, but gilding the lily. A lily is a beautiful flower. When you gild something, you make it golden, right? When somebody is gilding a lily, they're taking a story and making it even more salacious, right? They're making it more salacious. And the intention with that is to convince the journalist, in this case, that they should cover it from their perspective, right? And that it'll do them good if they cover it that way. I had a guy come to me like literally 2 months ago. We talked for 3 fucking hours. Okay, and he was like, you should make multiple videos on my story. You should do this. I think this will make your career. And I'm like, that's weird. This guy is fucking trying to get me to do something, and I don't think he's being genuine.
I blame you. You have every undying right to be fed up with me. But to say that Katie threw me under the bus, and then for those of you who are out there mocking her abuse, that is too far. That is why her and I made our videos in the first place.
Unfortunately, I'm on the internet, and I can say whatever the fuck I want. On the topic of journalistic ethics, where's a good place to learn those? So if you ever become a YouTuber, don't become a YouTuber. That's it. Like, that's the only answer I can give. I learned most of what I learned in school for that. I took a bunch of courses in journalism while I was in film school. And I had really good professors who were journalists. Unironically, go to college. I know that sounds really stupid and really obvious, but contrary to what YouTubers say, go to fucking school.
It was to address a situation in which somebody could possibly be mocking abuse. It turned out to be very, very wrong, and we were that is too far. That is why her and I made our videos in the first place. It was to address a situation in which somebody could possibly be mocking abuse. It turned out to be very, very wrong. And
I think if you're making a video on mocking abuse and your entire, like, if your entire thesis for covering somebody, if the danger they present is being an asshole online, you need to actually see how bad people can really be. Because I've interacted with some fucking evil shitters, all right? I honestly can't care about motherfuckers who mock abuse, right? Because is it shitty? Is it bad? Is it sometimes unwarranted? Yeah, but like, there's actually some terrible people out there, and I just cannot be bothered to care about that.
on other sites like YouTube and Twitter, and I went on my way to make my script and then to make my video. For those who are mad at me, I do not blame you. You have every undying right to be fed up with me. But to say that Katie threw me under the bus, and then for those of you who are out there mocking her abuse, that is...
Given Katie's apology, it does still sound like she threw you under the bus. I don't think that she has been genuine with what she's been discussing. Let's be real here. Lewis and Katie were hoping their hit piece videos would generally destroy Jabo's YouTube career and didn't think it would backfire on them. I think that's part of it. I think a lot of their mentality is dictated by a bit of moral righteousness. I think they do genuinely believe in their crusade. I'm sure that, you know, to kill two birds with one stone is a great thing, but, you know, these things are probably multifaceted in this case. Sometimes it's just because you want to fuck a guy over, right? I'm Alex, and I'm Alex would hate a guy and make up something about the guy, right? So he would feel that he was right in doing that, but he also wanted to get something out of it. There's good in the world too, though, like Keanu. There are a lot of good. You do get a little black pilled when you interact with the people that I do, right?
Too far. That is why her and I made our videos in the first place. It was to address a situation in which somebody could possibly be mocking abuse. It turned out to be very, very wrong, and we were very, very wrong. But that does not give you the right to mock her abuse. As for me, be as brutal as you see fit. And to
yeah, I mean, like, I think if Katie is going to make her position online off of the basis of being a women's rights advocate and discussing her abuse as a cornerstone for her beliefs, then that does put her beliefs in, like, that puts her story in the crosshairs for criticism and mockery, in my opinion, right? Because it's one thing to just say a story and then live your life. It's another thing to say a story and then make it a part of your brand, right? Those are two very different things. You open it up to more scrutiny then.
Jesse and my audience again, I am extremely sorry. I will learn from this like there is no tomorrow, and grow from this instead of letting it become a pattern. I was so dead set on sticking to my upload schedule that I would be negligent of a story and allowing it to grow so that I could then cover it in good faith. From now on, I will only upload videos.
But it wasn't in good faith at all. There's like a bunch of things to suggest that you didn't let this cook for enough time. Right? I understand the upload schedule, but like you can't like blame any of this on the upload schedule. If you don't have all of the information, how can you run a story? You know, you reach out to somebody for comment, they don't respond within 3 days, so you go and run the upload. That's not good. You know, like you gotta give it some fucking time, man. Like at least a week, right? Give it the 5 business days treatment, all right? Like give it the 5 business days treatment.
Videos on subjects where I take the ample time to find proof, as diligently and as long as it takes for me to do so. I will learn and I will grow.
Good. I'm if you can do that, great. I mean, it's a skill. Apparently motherfuckers don't know how to Google anymore, so.
This was a huge mistake on my end, and I only made it worse by hopping onto a stream in the heat of the moment when I did not have my full opinion settled. And I deleted my live and my video as to not spread any more hate to his side of the internet. Now that I know I have done damage, I will not allow any more to be done to anybody else except for me. But in this situation, Jesse is justifiably angry, and I am justifiably getting a lot of shit. And that's all what needed to happen for me to realize that I was very, very wrong.
So what if he didn't get a lot of shit? I'm being nitpicky. You know, like you've said in chat, this apology is better. I've obviously had plenty of things to say, but this has took up the quarter amount of the time that it took to get through Chica's fucking apology.
So thank you from the bottom of my heart to everybody who held me accountable. I'll see you in the next video, and I'm very sorry. I'm really sorry. To Jesse, to my audience, to his, to whoever overlaps. I'm sorry for any harm I caused by spreading my ideas as fact. I apologize for being forceful when trying to get an apology or a statement out of Jesse, when it was really not my place.
Oh, I accidentally played it again. Hold on, I was reading something in my DMs. Hold on. Listen, I don't know if he won't learn anything. He might learn, okay? And yeah, I know about a prior video. I'll pull that up in a second. I'm gonna go take my state-mandated piss right now, so I'll be right back. But let me go do that.
Number figured out, a motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. Wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie.
Okay, if I watch this Harley video, is he gonna accuse this guy? Is it like genuine? Because it seems kind of contentious. Cat, I'm not allergic to watermelon. So there's this guy called Pumpkin, right, who was accused of being a creep or weirdo. And apparently that was not the most correct take on it. Pumpkin the Gentleman has officially released a statement about this situation. He clarifies many important things and proves some speculation people had to be false, though he did not prove he didn't talk to a 12-year-old, which I find...
Show your hands, Diesel.
He does not prove he didn't talk to a 12-year-old. How do you prove that you didn't talk to your 12... Listen, there's no evidence to show that you didn't talk to a 12-year-old. How do you do... You need to show he did talk to a 12-year-old. He doesn't need to show that he didn't talk to a 12-year-old. How is he supposed to show that he didn't do something? He didn't do it. Though I still encourage you all to go watch his video on his own channel and decide how you feel about the situation. We'll look at the Harley video, but then clearly I gotta watch this motherfucker's video. This Pumpkin guy. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I did wash my hands, chat. Dude, I cannot stand art commentary. Dude, these are all like Jesus.
Hello.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. Taking accountability and clearing the air. Dude, everybody's like taking accountability and clearing the air, but like maybe the air is just really stinky, guys. Like, get out of the room, bro. Like, fuck. I don't mind Harley, okay? Let me just say I don't mind them. But they've gotten involved in things that I've covered before, and they've made it needlessly complicated because they're young and stupid, okay? And like it drives me insane sometimes. Some of these motherfuckers just cannot control their behavior when they get involved in nonsense, okay?
Pumpkin the Gentleman is a TikTok artist who has drawn serious concern and speculation in recent weeks over what would appear to be an extensive history of immoral actions and comments, leading to a video titled, "This TikTok artist likes kids a little too much."
Oh
but
no!
Are those claims true? With a response video from him called Explanation and Taking Accountability, maybe he can spread some light on the truth and prove these claims untrue. This TikTok artist...
Dude, Harley has fucking braces. I can't. Harley inserted themselves into the fucking Yandere Dev drama, okay? Let me just tell you, all right? Harley should have not been nowhere near. Harley should have been nowhere near the Yandere Dev story, okay? But here I was having an hour-long conversation with Cameron F305 about Harley.
might be a predator. Let's talk about it. On the 2nd of August, creator Lewis McClung published a video about a content creator known here on out as Pumpkin the Gentleman, which, for the sake of a hotline call, I will be shortening to just Pumpkin. Side note, if you'd like to be a gentleman, you should subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 250,000 subscribers. Damn it.
Harley. I'm sorry, Harley. That was mean. Don't worry, Harley. I fell off too. It's okay.
That was shameless. Pumpkin is a TikTok influencer with 500,000
I know that was mean. That was mean.
followers who creates art memes that have, on occasion, hit over 7 million views. This video, while not being the original source of the information, is a good point of reference for every allegation that we'll be discussing here, and would accuse him of several serious...
Is this a child? No, it is a young adult.
...allegations. So before I touch on Pumpkin's response,
It's like just barely, they're just barely a young adult. They're like 18 or 19.
I feel we should touch on those. Most of the allegations about Pumpkin revolve around his irresponsible and somewhat disturbing handling of his Twitter. So I've collected these together for the sake of a more cohesive structure. Lewis first emphasizes that Pumpkin's Twitter was, according to the allegations, marked 16+ for most of the to-be-mentioned issues. In spite of that, Pumpkin would share art that would often tread into a more sexual nature than most. This could be an issue.
It all started with a prompt on Twitter of people saying, hey, make this, make your OC in this. Everybody in the NSFW art community, get on this, all right? It's time. But of course, Mr. Gentle Loser, seeing himself as a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to this stuff, he said, oh, hold my metaphorical beer because I'm 19 going on 20. I can't drink yet, but hold it as I make this. Oh.
Okay, so is that... are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? So... Okay, allow me... For reference, it's his OC with a big dong in a thong. Okay. Okay.
Oh, man. Okay, I can't show you all of it, obviously, but just know that there's a bit of an erectile thing going on.
So they got a massive hog that they're not showing. I like that Cloudy's used the term massive hog or like hog. Like, I love using that to describe penis now.
Below, okay? And you may be thinking, Lewis, is that even a problem? I see stuff like this on Twitter all the time.
Listen, motherfuckers will put 18+ in their fucking, like, Twitter profile, and then they have 500,000 followers. You're telling me that every single 500,000 of those followers has been personally vetted by like Pussy Girl Exploder 62? Okay, there's no way the chick who does like fucking porn is verifying all of those. All right.
Time. Literally, you can't look anything up on Twitter without seeing something along those lines.
But Diesel, he put minors do not engage in his bio. Okay, I've already told this story before. I know I've told this story before. I had an iPod Touch as a child, okay? And I thought the world was going to end in 2012 because I was stupid, okay? So I went online and I looked up big boobs, and that changed my life forever, all right? That's the TLDR of that story. Guess what? I clicked on Pornhub on my teenage years, and it said 18 plus, and I went, yep, I'm 18, and then it just let me in.
Lines. You just can't. And to that I say, no, it's not a problem at all.
Were they green? No, I didn't realize that I had a thing for goblins until like 2 or 3 years ago.
Unless your account is set and said to be for people of the age of 16.
I don't, what am I, first of all, that's TikTok, not Twitter. Those are two different spaces. And the transference of an audience is definitely something to be said, right? I can't transfer my audience over to Twitter. It's frustrating, and I don't blame people for not wanting to go to Twitter. But like, are you fucking kidding me?
16. All right, let me get something clear that I don't think a lot of people understand. 16 years old is a kid, okay? I don't care what the age of consent is in your state, in your country. I don't care.
I think we should change the age of consent until 25, I guess. I don't know.
If you're an adult, do not date a kid. Is that so hard?
What do you mean? What do you mean don't date a kid? He's not dating a kid. That's like a fucking big hogged chromey pumpkin guy. It's like, what's that have to do with dating children?
To understand, oh my god, I feel like I have to drive this point home all the time, and I'll see comments.
You have to drive that point home all the time. I can't get all these pedophiles away from these children. Oh my god.
In a bunch of videos, not even just my own, saying, hey guys, in my state, 16 is the age of consent within reason, but it's the age of consent, okay? And that makes it okay. No, I don't care. This is just my opinion. No, shut up. You're weird, okay? If you think, damn, 16-year-old? No!
But as often as Pumpkin would post borderline NSFW on his 16+ account, he would share replies that would not look good for him. One of those being a conversation between himself and what is at the point of Lewis's video, not known to be a friend of Pumpkin's. This individual would ask to be rizzed by Pumpkin, and in response, he would say, when you're older.
Somebody posted a thing saying, y'all, Pumpkin and his Riz, bro, it's too effective.
Riz by Pumpkin to when you're older. And the two people knew each other and were friends. So Lewis just purported that Lewis was talking. So Lewis just purported that Pumpkin was talking to a minor without evidence.
I want to get rizzed by the Pumpkin too. This person was 16.
He literally said no. Yeah, he literally said no.
By the way, and he said, I want to get rizzed by the Pumpkin too. This person was 16, by the way.
According to some sources. Those sources are?
And he said, when you're older, heart hands. Okay, yeah,
Okay, no evidence, all right. This guy's really bad at preparing evidence. Holy shit, this is literally the same thing as with Denki Chabot. Literally didn't cite a source.
I know you get it, and there's just so much. There's so much of it. Oh my god. Bro, I don't even want to call you that. It's too friendly. Why don't I just call you a creep? You're just a creep. You're not-
You're a creep. You're a weirdo.
A weirdo. You're a creep.
You're a creep, a weirdo, a pedo. Turkey Tom thumbnail beam. Place it here.
No Radiohead for you. Just get out. Just go.
No Radiohead for you, because they're a minor. Have a seat right over there. My name is Chris Hansen, but evil.
Away, please. All right, you clearly can't control yourself because you think it's okay to put 16 plus in your description or whatever. Like, dude, honestly,
I don't who the fuck is gonna listen to that, dude? I didn't listen to that as a teenager. What do you think? People just listen to things online? They see a sign that says "Do not enter" and then enter all the time.
It's not even about what you're posting, okay? It's
Diesel, don't make me tell Hal you're being weird on main. She's mad at me right now. I'm in the doghouse chat.
weird, it's creepy, it's outlandish, right? But those are all just personal opinions, and there's no real way. There's no
There's no way that he did this before.
Louis just going down the checklist of bad things.
What did you do to make Hal mad? The ladies were talking about some stuff, and Hal said, "Diesel barked for me," and I said no. And then she was like, okay, fine, I see how it is. So, you know, there's how that goes.
way overall to stop minors from seeing what you're doing, okay? And I can go on and on all day about
How is the 16 plus gonna stop? Listen, the only way that we're gonna get minors out of adult spaces is if we fucking make it so more moronic teenagers can't go on Twitter, okay? I don't want to spend my days going on Twitter and arguing with 14-year-olds, all right? I don't. Maybe they should be, like, not allowed to make an account on Twitter, all right? Like, fuck me, Jesus. But putting up a sign that says, "Don't come here if you're a minor," does not stop them.
how people really just shouldn't be posting most of the stuff they are on places like TikTok and Instagram. But Twitter is for adults. You do have to
Twitter is for adults. I'm sorry, but like even saying that TikTok is like, I can't imagine letting a child on TikTok. I can't. It is so bad for you, okay? I actually think it does put holes in your brain. I am so glad TikTok is being banned. I know we're going to get a huge influx of crazy people, but I'm glad it's happening because I don't think it should be around. I think it's really bad for society. Like something like 95% of ADHD TikToks are false. All right. All of the information being put out by these ADHD TikToks is completely incorrect. All these mental health TikToks, completely incorrect. We got all these people going around, running around with false information about mental health because they watch a TikTok on it.
Register as 18 years of age to use it. So people lie, people get on there, they're kids, right? But it's when you knowingly interact with people who are children and tell them,
"Can you show that they're a child?" Oh, wait, you don't show it, Lewis. I hit myself. That's how.
not when you're older, bro. That's grooming.
Bark, bark, bark.
Bark, 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 woof, woof, Diesel.
Safe to say, this is not a good look. This next issue is a bit of a more confusing one, and as it's quite an extreme one, I would like to say up front that there will be important context that will change your perspective of this allegation later in the video. One of the more serious claims discussed in regards to Pumpkin's
I've seen that hoodie, Harley. I've seen that like Y2K ass hoodie. Fuck, I know where you got that. I want one of those. Fuck.
mishandling of his Twitter was the claim that he shared an image in which you could see an outline of
It's
his
ugly. I fuck with the Y2K aesthetic, okay? I wear a lot of tech wear.
captioned
I probably wouldn't get it in that color, but
closest to a dick pic that you're getting.
This is the least blurred photo I could find of it, but, you know, I'm sure you can infer what's going on. This image was posted on Gentle Loser's account when it wasn't privated yet, still 16 plus, and, the blurred part is a very...
Yeah, I've seen it in black and gray with, like, you know, the Y2K ass font on it. What's going on in the pic? It's a dick size pic.
You know, I'm sure you can infer what's going on. This image was posted on Gentle Loser's account when it wasn't privated yet, still 16 plus, and the blurred part is a very well-defined outline of his bulge, okay? And that's not for 16-year-olds, you 19-year-old weirdo. Yeah.
Oh my god. He's 19. He's 19, dude. Oh my god. We're okay. First of all, we're assuming he's interacting with 16-year-olds. Okay, and then I was assuming that he was like 25 or maybe older, but we're talking about a 19-year-old. I should draw you yicking out, dude. Fucking, I heard yick is good now. I think I might actually need to play yick.
We're like the same age, okay? I'm 20. That's not that far off 19. A 16-year-old?
So he's 19 and he's friends with a 16-year-old. That's not a deal at all. Well, it's like, it's interesting, but he's also not hitting on the 16-year-old. He's saying, I don't want to hit on the 16-year-old.
Bro, that's not it, okay?
I could do some yick streams. We could yick it out.
was 19, right? You may be thinking, oh, that's only a 3-year difference. No, no, no. That's I've graduated high school. I am working. I have a job. I'm in a.
There's been plenty of 19-year-olds that are still in high school. They're usually like super seniors and they're fucking like dense or got some problems going on, but like, damn.
Adult. I pay taxes. Okay, I have to think about the next electoral vote. When I was 16, I didn't.
Horrifying reality is that Lewis has to vote in an election.
An adult. I pay taxes. Okay, I have to think about the next electoral vote. When I was 16, I didn't care about none of that.
Within this
That's baloney. I cared about all that shit at 16.
video is also a conversation between Pumpkin and an individual where they emphasize that sharing inappropriate content to his 16+ account is not okay. And he said that it was just an anatomic body part, and that in Japan, that is considered normal for fictional characters. Okay, buddy.
But of course, somebody called
Okay. Wait, what? There's no way that pumpkin guy said that.
To his 16+ account is not okay. A conversation between
electoral vote. When I was 16, I didn't care about none of that.
Within this video is also a conversation between Pumpkin and an individual where they emphasize that sharing inappropriate content to his 16+ account is not okay. And he said that it was just an anatomic body part, and that in Japan, that is considered normal for
That is, yeah, can we get some evidence for that, please? Proof. Big if true, by the way, if they did say that.
fictional characters. Okay, buddy.
But of course, somebody called him out about it, and he competently responded. There's no incompetence here like he claimed. No, he is simply just gonna try and justify what he did. Like, what do you mean you thought it was appropriate, that there was a chance of someone 16 seeing...
I think I'm sorry, but this is such like, this is so teenager coded, okay? All of this is so teenager coded, okay? This is something that only happens amongst people who are like teens that need to feel like they're doing something, okay? And are terminally online. This is constantly a terminally online teenager thing. I'm sorry, but I am not going to take Jojo Fartballs seriously, okay? And I don't think the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is going to listen to Jojo Fartballs on the ceasefire. I don't think you're making a difference, honey. I don't think you're making a difference. Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. Jojo Fartballs is in the trenches. I need to know, what are JoJo's Fartballs' answer to the Israeli-Palestine conflict? Person who has never held a gun and is like 16, what do you think about this geopolitical issue? Dude, I have a twitch in my eye right now. What do you mean you thought it was appropriate that there was a chance of someone 16 seeing your bulge? Okay, no. Literally, when you do anything online, there's a chance of someone who should not be looking at it, looking at anything. Okay? Putting a don't come here unless you're 16 or older sign, none of that matters. You have a profile on the internet. A minor can find it. Like, that is just the reality of it, okay? And you got to tell them to fuck off, right? But like, I don't, like, what the fuck do you want him to do? This account has been suspended. Justice for Jojo Fartballs. Boy, I bet you they said something probably anti-Semitic. Like, Jesus Christ. Because to me, it was just an anatomy body part. In Japan, that is considered normal. Oh, hold on. There's a lot of shows in anime where a character has a bulge or big boobs or assets, either due to anatomy or costume. This is the half of this is like an autistic like response, by the way. But the answer to this actually sounds more like it's less about him saying that like I thought this was like a 16 is the age of consent type comment, right? But what I think it is that he's saying in Japan, nudity is more normalized than in the West. That's what it reads like to me, right? It sounds like, oh, you know, body nudity is more readily accepted. I think he's trying to justify sexualization in anime by pretending it's not sexualization. Well, that's definitely, yeah. But there are people saying that he grew up mixed in Japan. Okay. But like here for example, like I can't imagine you would never get like an onsen business to work here in the West, right? Because we're all really afraid of showing our balls. I'll go into the sauna at the gym and motherfuckers will try and hide their nuts in the sauna. But it's like you can't hide your nuts in the sauna because we're all sitting in here naked.
Your bulge. Because to me, it was just an anatomy body part. In Japan, that is...
But it is giving anime weeb response.
Considered normal. There are a lot of shows in anime where a character has a bulge, or big boobs, or other assets, either due to the anatomy or costume. Are you talking about HENTAI? Because that's not how that works, bro. That's for adults. What do you mean it's normal? No, it's not. In Japan, it's normal to censor those things. Like, literally just putting censor bars over
they have like crazy... I was watching a documentary on this for like why they have all these like insane censorship rules around like hentai and all that stuff. But yeah, he's probably talking about doujinshi. Also, by the way, America, can we please normalize like onsens? I know most of us would probably shit in an onsen because we're American and we don't know how to behave, but like I would really like a communal bathing experience. Like it, you know, I'd be down for it. Most public baths in the U.S. have closed due to gay panic in the 80s. Dude, men could not want to not look at each other's balls more.
everything, because it's not normal at all to see those things everywhere. Plastered on a bunch of billboards for the community.
Turkish baths, yeah. Turkish bath would be great.
Because it's not normal at all to see those things everywhere. Plastered on a bunch of billboards for the
oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, you need like a PhD to discuss this stuff. This is so... I know I'm floundering into this, okay? I know I'm floundering into this. But like, Jesus Christ, you need a PhD to discuss these cultural idiosyncrasies associated with Japan and its sexual identity, okay? Like, fucking Christ.
community to gaze upon. No!
He would share apologies for some of these allegations, proclaiming innocence through ignorance in response to most of the inappropriate or irresponsible comments he'd been a part of, and it would change his Twitter to be 18+.
Let's start with him putting his best foot forward, because I think that's always important. Now, we start these things off with the pseudo-apology of...
It was just like some yapper on TikTok was like, he has his account 16+, and then he sometimes posts things that are, like, edge casing, so...
people doing stuff you just really can't apologize for doing. I am sorry. I apologize for making and posting inappropriate content, which I then expose to a younger audience. I also apologize for being stubborn as well as ignorant to those who have tried to inform me beforehand about my actions regarding my content and age rating. I have failed to realize how much damage I have caused to my audience, and it was never my...
Literally the entire basis for this entire drama is a guy having the word 16+ in his bio when he should have had 18+ in his bio. Do we, like, this is how little we're talking about.
I heard you were talking about me. They got me in the trenches, and I have been suffering for weeks. Please send me the credit card number with the 3 digits on the back to help me, Diesel. You are my only hope.
I don't think you're the real JoJo Fartballs. I think you might be an imposter.
intention to bring harm to anyone. I was wrong. Moving forward, I will tone it down. Now that I am aware and have a full understanding of what 16+ content is, in addition to that, I am bumping my content viewing to 18+. I sincerely apologize to those I disappointed and let down. See, all of that is great. All of that...
Yeah, all of that is great. That's like, I mean, ultimately, it made literally 0 difference. But at least he did it.
Awesome. If you haven't literally tried to justify doing these things, okay? You do not get to claim ignorance or not knowing or being ignorant to what people are telling you when you literally respond competently to what they are saying to you.
And then
You're gonna call that response competent?
everything was fine, nothing went wrong again, and he did not find himself in any further controversy. Is what I would like to say, but yeah, of course he didn't.
Unfortunately, it's the ACC, and all these motherfuckers are crazy, dude.
He would make the mistake of letting a 17-year-old follow his 18+ only account on their request, saying, sure, why not?
This is why I fuck with like the porn artists that I know, because like They're just like, I do porn, and then when somebody complains about the porn they do, they say fuck you, and then they just move on with their day.
Here is some actual, literal, actual proof. This is the real proof of him interacting with minors in very inappropriate ways.
Okay, there better be evidence that this person is a minor.
I'm 17 and turning 18 on the 23rd of August. Am I allowed? I'm working on fan art right now for you. How else would I send it? Sure, why not? Okay, all right, buddy. Okay, all right.
Okay, wait, but the implication that I thought he was grooming them. I thought that's what grooming. We're really interesting. We're really interesting here. Person who is 17 and 364 days old. Can I send you fan art? Other guy. Yeah, I guess so. 12 days away from being 18.
You're an adult now, all right?
You're 19 and they're gonna be 18 in 12 days. Are you fucking kidding me?
You're an adult now. You have to make these, you have to think about these
Damn, Lewis is really Alex yicking out.
things. You have to make these decisions, okay? Like, I get it, okay? You're 19. You're interacting with somebody who's 17 going on 18, right?
17 going to be 18 in 12 days.
That's not too bad. I still don't like it. It still makes me uncomfortable. It's still, like, just...
I don't like it. It still makes me uncomfortable. Me, when I see somebody who's 24 dating somebody who's 27. I don't like this. I don't like this. Nope, nope, nope.
You can't really get away with this stuff, and people have to hold you accountable for it so that you don't do actual worse bad things.
Lewis's video would also discuss Pumpkin's TikTok too, showing both questionable content in these TikTok videos and also
Don't bully me, I'll yick. It's just so gross. The yick is I like how it's supposed to be Y2K, but it's spelt like yick.
comments from what is claimed to be multiple minors with inappropriate comments, and he would respond in kind with unacceptable
He's
messages.
pulling his yick out.
Here are a couple comments of him interacting with minors. Like, maybe not knowingly, but he didn't bother to
So he doesn't know they're minors. Like, what the fuck?
check. There was this picture of him, you know, scarfing on some bread with some cream coming out of it. You know, an innuendo, if you will. Here's what a minor said. I'm not gonna read it because that's weird to me. You know, you can't make me do it. I don't wanna. But then he responded and said, "Thank you." What is...
As per Diesel, at the time of these posts, this guy was 17 when this happened in 2023. He is now 19, as per Killjoy. Diesel, Pumpkin is 17 in 2023. Okay, thank you. Okay, so then this motherfucker's wrong as hell.
What is wrong with you? Go to hell. Specifically loser hell, but we'll save that for later. Here's somebody saying, "Whose bread is that exactly?" A kid responds, weirdly, and then he likes
I don't know if that's a kid. I'm just gonna take your word from it.
the comment. And okay, I'll address the fact that he might not know this is a minor, but either way, it strikes a chord with me after knowing what I do know.
So he was 17 when this drama was going on. So now it's just minors accusing another minor of being inappropriate with minors. It's a pumpkin.
Here's one more case of him that I found interacting with a minor, just to throw it out there.
And this is 2023.
So my take on this is just children bullying children over things they don't like.
Yes. Yes. Should a 17-year-old be drawing not safe for work art? No, but that changes a lot. Yeah, it changes the entire discussion.
Honestly, I don't even want to read it or anything like that. It's just another one. But again, he is but an example. He is but literally just me showing you that this stuff is happening all over the place, and we have to stay vigilant and diligent to see it, to call people out for it.
We've got to call out these groomers that are also minors.
Hold people accountable so that the groomer summer of 2024 can go down.
Dude, groomer summer of 2024. Get the fuck out of here. Dude, I don't know what this brand of content is, but this commodification of pedophile hysteria is just the most insane shit ever, okay? Oh my god. Yeah, I thought it was Brat Summer, dude. What is going on?
in history and not continue to be our present.
Again, this next claim is one that has much more context than the response section. I do not feel okay with presenting such information without this disclaimer beforehand. There were also several DMs that were alleged to be from Pumpkin, shown within Lewis's video, in a conversation between Pumpkin and an unidentified 12-year-old. Within this conversation, both parties show a selection of disturbing and illegal comments. One of those being a message from Pumpkin that read, "Bro, nah, I'm gonna be cancelled and labeled a pedo." And another showing that his hands were craving titty.
I'm gripping my bed sheets. What the fuck is going on? Mine going wild. I'm gonna be honest. My hands are craving for titties right now. Are they so soft and squishy and so comforting? Like if it's perfectly in hand. So when were these? Like I need to know what's going on in this conversation. Like what is?
Right now. Yay.
He also has an alleged conversation with somebody who is definitely a minor, but the alleged part is that they are 12. Oh,
The
God.
alleged part is that they're
Oh.
12. Do you prove? Oh wait, that's right. Lewis doesn't prove that they talk to a 12-year-old.
Whoa, okay, we're jumping from 16 all the way down the ladder to literally a baby. You're but a little child, and you're not allowed to talk with them, let alone say all this
But I also don't know if he's a child, and also you don't provide any evidence.
bullshit. And I'm gonna read it in good faith. Thank you, Pumpkin.
I'm gonna read it in good faith. This guy does not understand what these words mean. Weirdly want to kiss you. I mean, is it allowed? Ooh, woo, mwah, makes out.
weirdly want to kiss you. Raise his eyebrow. You know what you do there? And this is Lewis's crash course on how not to talk to minors. You don't say anything. You don't send any emojis.
You don't do nothing.
Say nothing. Okay? Nothing.
Lewis needs to prove he does not talk to 12-year-old. That's the level of evidence that we're dealing with here.
That's the crash course. That's it. It's over. I mean, is it allowed? Sends a kissing noise. Makes out. Okay, don't talk to people like that. Especially if they're 12. Grr, give me your censored out. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is censored out.
Grr, give me your dick. Probably. Penis. Cock. Take a pic. Bro, nah, I'm gonna be canceled and labeled as a pedo.
Bro, nah, I'm gonna be canceled and labeled as a P3DO. Running away, gassed up.
P3D. I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. I don't know if that pumpkin's a pedo.
Emoji. Yeah, buddy. I hate to break it, dude.
Grr, give me your dangling participle.
You're gonna be canceled or labeled as a P3DO anyways.
Right
Right now, mind go wild. I'm gonna be honest, my hands are craving for some Berhonga Gongas right now. How are
Just say titties, bro. Just say titties. What, are you afraid of little breasts?
they so soft and squishy and so comforting and they fit perfectly in my hand? What? And I'm sure you would try to justify this with being like, I'm hypersexual. That doesn't mean you have to text a minor, you creep.
We don't know if it's a minor, and you're presenting it as if it's true that it is a minor.
You dirty creep. Ew, get the hell out. Go away. Go to prison or something. I don't know. Hike your ass somewhere else. And that's not it. Can't remember the rest. Tee-hee, banana, popsicle, cucumber, eggplant, joystick, fiddlestick, third leg, hot dog. Whose horse is that? Horny ass hell. Hypersexuality, go burn.
Oh my god, this reads like a conversation between two minors, dude. Oh my god.
I knew that's what he was gonna do. I knew it. I called it. I knew what I called it. Actually, I actually forgot, and I called it cool.
I knew that he was gonna do it. You knew he was gonna say third leg, horse thang, joystick, fiddlestick? What?
Leg, hot dog, whose horse is that? Horny ass hell. Hypersexuality, go burn. I knew that's what he was gonna do. I knew it. I called it. I knew what I called it. Actually, I actually forgot, and I called it cool. How are you gonna... Okay, I get it. I get it, right? You have a hypersexuality disorder. I get that.
You have a hypersexuality disorder. No, you don't. 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 Dude, these Zoomers saying I'm like I have a hypersexual. Who the fuck? Dude, motherfuckers be like, I saw this tweet recently, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like I feel bad for nerdy guys these days because the women who would be in their circles are always like, I'm a whore, I'm a slut. And it's so funny to watch young people interact and be like, I'm a nymphomaniac, and then like all they do is sit inside and draw hentai on TikTok. I'm a nymphomaniac. I love having sex. Has never had sex in their life. Why is bro acting like Woody the Yick Woodpecker? I can only assume that's a real character. Dude, that's like the VTuber experience, exactly. Right? Motherfuckers be like, I'm a slut for fucking lime key pie. Like, just be like, you like pie, dude. Why do you gotta be like, I'm gonna put my hog in pie? Just fucking eat it, bro. He just started. No, his motherfuckers be like, motherfuckers will be on Twitter and be like, I love it when a man puts together IKEA furniture. It makes me ovulate. It's like, what do you?
Yeah, that does not justify it. That is not an excuse. You have a conscience. You know that you're not allowed to talk to kids. You even said, oh, no, I'm gonna get canceled. That should have been enough for you to be like, oh, wait, maybe I'm right. Maybe me, the person saying this, maybe I'm right. Maybe I just stop here. Maybe I stop now. Maybe I stop before I ever sent anything to this person. Maybe I just get the hell out of here. Maybe I shut the fuck up.
Dude, if Lewis ever has he accidentally is based, if he says something based ever, his career is so fucked.
Maybe. I don't know.
Lewis's video would also share a plethora of theories about Pumpkin's race, weight, place of birth, sexuality, and more. I do not personally understand the reason behind this investigation with such lackluster evidence. I don't place of birth
up. Maybe. I don't know.
Lewis's video would also share a plethora of theories about Pumpkin's race, weight, place of birth, sexuality, and more. I do not personally understand the reason behind this investigation with such lackluster evidence. I don't think it's worth delving further into.
And he somehow thinks when he posts pictures of him gripping a plushie, you know, seductively or whatever, his hands look like this.
Is he really race? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, I look Caucasian if you put me under the right light. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't want to stereotype and I don't want to be too blatant, but I think anybody with common sense can realize those are not the hands of somebody with a very high body fat percentage.
What does a high body fat percentage hand look like, motherfucker, huh? Do you really know what that looks like? I was a fat fuck, but I always had tiny hands. I mean, my hands are pretty average size, but like, my hands were never that big. All right? I never got sausage fingers when I was a fat guy.
Okay, just scientifically, that doesn't add up. And the fact that he often draws his skin very dark, and also the image he said that I just showed you was from his younger brother, drew them both with darker skin, when in that image, that same image I just showed you, it seems that either he has light skin, which then, you know, whatever, or he might actually just be white. And as a white person, I'm not really allowed to be offended about somebody pretending to be black. That's not my wheelhouse, but I've seen plenty of people online mad about it, so I thought I...
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Remember, like, literally, like, it was a long time ago, I did that stream on that Sunny chick, and she was, like, trying to course correct people who drew black people, because she felt that black people can only look one way. And she was like a crazy bitch. You remember that stream, chat? Yeah, mixed people can look white. This guy is the reason every Logic song has him mention he's black. Yeah, this is like colorism stuff, dude.
Bring it up. And I want
he needs to stay in his lane and then immediately leaves his lane. I have determined that you are white and that your drawing of blackness is wrong.
Make it known that I am every time
black people could have many complexions. Just because you're black doesn't mean you're like literally fucking brown to purple. Okay? complexions are varied, but this motherfucker's like, doesn't look like a black person to me.
I'm thinking about his hypersexuality, okay? And I don't want to say
Crazy for this dude to accuse not one, but two black men of being weird.
something crazy like he might be faking it just to get away with stuff, which is a possibility. But there is always the chance that people fake these things to make it a reality, right? And even though he claims to have, or does have, hypersexuality, that doesn't justify any of this crap.
The hypersexuality is like, okay, listen, I get it. We need to be respectful of people. I will, and I try to be respectful of people's pronouns and gender identities and sexual identities and all that. I'm not saying to go around and be like, I don't think you're that. But like, motherfucker, all these people are coming out of the woodwork being like, I'm fucking hypersexual. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I don't need to respect that. I hear that and I go, I don't believe you. Fuck you. like Bo Black's recently. Bo Black's recently identifies as non-binary and accepts all pronouns currently, so I'm not misgendering him. But like, you know, Bo Black's has this, and just for those of you that don't know, Bo Black's had an OnlyFans account where you could pay and see pictures of Bo Black's. And it's like Bo Black's talking about his balls, but he calls them his galls. He's like very, it almost comes off as like sexualizing the idea of transness. Okay. And it's like, I am like sitting there going, is he trans, or is it that he has a fetish for the idea of being feminized? Because when you read the post, it's like, okay, this is like, it's really, I unironically, if it wasn't for the fact that I know Bo Black's and I've been following the drama, I'd be like, this reads like a parody that a right-winger would make to mock trans people. It is that offensive. I've never seen a more transphobic trans person. 100%. Okay? There's no reason to be going around calling yourself man-she. Man-she? Holy shit. Holy shit. Get a grip, you fucking psycho. Okay? There's no reason to be talking about your galls. That's like, what? Like, this is, there are plenty of trans women that feel uncomfortable about having, you know, like what the fuck? It's so fucking offensive, the shit he had.
5th of August, Pumpkin the Gentleman released a response to the
It unironically worse than anything Blair White put out.
allegations titled Explanation and Taking Accountability. This video is introduced with an admission to being irresponsible and immature with his platform. Whether this is an excuse or not will be determined by what he says after.
Hello, this is Pumpkin the Gentleman. I know a lot has been going on. I know a lot has been said. I was, in fact, irresponsible and immature.
Okay, is this like a text-to-speech thing? Because that does not sound like this motherfucker's voice.
Although in this video, I'm going to be clearing up most of the allegations that were either taken out of context or cropped, I'm also going to be going over my own actions and wrongdoings.
It's also important to note that a lot of this video is actually a retread of his past responses to these allegations
TikTok
over on
AI
TikTok.
voice? Okay.
Those were all taken down by the platform, presumably over the subject matter. The first allegation I'd like to discuss is in regards to his conversation on Twitter, where someone asked if he could rizz them up. You know, the one where he told them, when you're older. He provides further context on this and states that this was one of his 16 to 17-year-old friends, with him being 18 at the time, and that this was a common joke within his friend group and not in any way an actual advancement towards, though he does admit that it was not a smart idea to share this on a public account, and that he is aware of how bad it did.
That Lewis guy is in Lyrics' live stream chat talking. Is he actually in what? Lewis McClung's listening to your criticism. This is the biggest mistake of my life. So I'm trying to hear from as many people as possible. Oh boy. I'm gonna be content cucked by Lyrics. I'm gonna be content cucked by Lyrics.
Kind of crazy this stream because I just very much disagree. But we could have a normal conversation if you want, though. I'm 100% down. But if you want to, I saw you called into Papa Gut. I don't know how I feel about Papa Gut.
Do you guys watch two streams at the same time?
I listen to everyone, even if I don't agree with them. All right, buddy. If you want to have a conversation, I'm down. The lines are open.
Is that what you're going?
My Discord is LyrixLol. No, finish my stream and be as brutal as you feel. All right, buddy. Well, the lines are open whenever if you want to call in. But there we go.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. I want to know more of the lore. Turn it to live chat. Yeah.
Look, and was
Yeah, that would be a... If he hopped in Lyrics' stream, that would... You never want to hop on a live call. I'm telling you that now. If you're in a drama, you'll get fucked over. Don't get me wrong. That would give me content if you did.
also not aware of the fact that waiting is considered a grooming tactic.
I'm going to be going over this tweet I made back in April when I was 18 towards my close mutual who was 16 to 17, a 2-year age gap, where I said, when you are old.
Who was 16 to 17, so they could be 16 or 17. Why is he in Lyrics' stream but not yours? Because most people don't know that I stream on this channel. Also, I know I have less viewers than Lyrics, so I'm not going to come up. Here, watch. If I change the title of the stream, who knows what'll happen? I deliberately made it not related. Here. I'll change it right now. Thank you for making me the main screen, though. That, you know, I'm sure that takes a lot of work. You fell off.
As a response to them saying they wanted to get rizzed by me. Although this was just a joke between me and my friend, it came off terribly wrong. I could have worded it better. I was not aware that this was a frequent term used by groomers or when grooming. Nor was I aware that this term implies I was waiting for them to become legal so that I could do certain things, which by no means did I intend to imply. I have never sexually interacted with this mutual. I've never sexually messaged this mutual. I never asked of anything from this mutual, let alone anything sexual. I have never expected or wanted anything sexual from this mutual or with this mutual. This is his testimony and his opinion on that situation. However, from this mutual or with this mutual, this is...
We already talked about this. You were joking, and after people started to call you a groomer, you deleted the thing, and you asked me if you were comfortable with it. Me and Pumpkin are close friends, so please, calling him out for that is fucking stupid. So please, instead of picking some fucking silly jokes to use it to make someone look bad, shut the hell up and actually educate yourself about what actual grooming and shit, because it's annoying that two friends with 2 years, with 2 almost 1 year of difference, can't make a joke because one of them have a fear that he's going to be called out as a groomer. Pumpkin helped me through so many of my shit, and I would never accept that people call him out for this.
Is his testimony and his opinion on that situation. However, I understand how
Glub Shadow won't roll up to Diesel's stream. Rip Bozo Diesel.
people misinterpreted that tweet. Really understand people's reaction to that tweet. And I appreciate those who came forward and told me what was wrong with the tweet and how to better improve my wording moving forward. Which shortly afterwards, I did delete the tweet.
I feel like it was irresponsible to share a joke like this on a public platform, especially with someone underage. That ultimately is not the act of a malicious actor, but an immature teen.
The only reason you're saying that, Harley, is because that's the audience you courted. I'm sorry. We're talking about like a 1 to 2 year age gap, barely, and we don't even know the specifics on that. But like, this is like a senior and a fucking junior in high school being homies. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, if somebody turns 18 and they're dating somebody who's 17, does that person instantly become a pedophile? Like...
He continues from here to call the dick pic claim a straight-up fabrication. He rebuts that the image in question was posted to his 18+ account and had been marked to have inappropriate content on platform, but that the person who had spread a screenshot of it had obscured that information.
Moving on, however, people are claiming that I posted a dick pic to a bunch of minors. That is a hypocritical lie. From the screenshot alone that this person used, it is clear that you took a post out of my NSFW labeled account with the emojis 18 or denied. Even if you look at the bottom right corner, you'd see the option hide. Hide what, you may ask? Hide the flags I put up for that post. You want to know what the flag said? Author labeled this post nudity. There were warnings, there were labels, and there were flags. Yet you as a minor ignored them, took it out of my account.
Exactly. A sign does not stop a minor. Wow, it's almost like I said that exact thing.
Was specifically for an adult audience, not minors, and then reposted it to your minor fan base. And guess what your minor fan base did? They reposted it, and it went across the internet. And yet you still accuse me of posting my dick pic to minors, especially given that that was my real body part. I feel incredibly violated because that picture was for a specific audience, which was adults only. Minors denied. Yet you disrespected my boundaries as a minor and reposted it to other minors who then just basically showed it to the world. I know some will argue that, oh, well, your NSFW account
Lyrics might be fumbling the bag. He's asking Lewis why he's afraid to say the word whore. Okay, commentary, guys. I'm not gonna big bro you, but you need to meet, if people are in drama, you need to meet them where they're at. Okay? So you need people to feel comfortable. You want to grab an interview, you got to make them feel comfortable. All right? You can't do that. Like, who cares whether or not, like, Lewis's personal moral standing prohibits him from saying the word whore or not? The whore discourse isn't really valid in this discussion, right? I don't care if he does or doesn't. Someone bring Lewis here. No, stop. I'm not trying to content cuck lyrics either. If Lewis finds my stream, he finds my stream. But it's like, you know, it's whatever. Go steal Lewis. I'm not going to do that. Oh, hold on. Let me mute my Discord.
is public, so of course minors will get into it.
I'm not content cucking lyrics. I don't got a fucking problem with lyrics. I'm not gonna do that.
But here's the thing. My account is labeled as adult content, with all posts flagged. This means that if you input your birthday and it happens to show that you are
NTR stream.
a minor, Twitter will add a specific filter called age restricted, so that you cannot view adult content until you are an adult, which is 18. So in order for a minor to have access to any of my media, that would mean that they lie about their age when inputting their birth date to give them an adult age so that they'll be able to view adult content, which in that case, that is not my fault. Of course, when I noticed or am notified that a minor is following me or interacting with my NSFW content, I will immediately block. However, I will not notice and catch every single one, nor is it my duty to. If a minor lied about their age and cannot respect and abide by the rules, the warnings, and the labels that are given to them for their safety, they should not be on the internet. And that is not my job or responsibility. That is theirs.
Technically, it's the responsibility of their parents, but yeah, you can post what you want. You shouldn't have to do stuff because minors are being ridiculous. Like I said, I think minors should be removed from many places on the internet.
If they cannot handle such a simple responsibility for themselves and their safety, they should not be on the internet, let alone Twitter.
This would, to the surprise of no one, change the entire context of this image, and as such, it should be said that someone who would share the claim, without including that to cancel him, is not only making it harder to take other serious claims at face value, but also is spreading misinformation about another person by excluding context, if this is to be believed.
There's only one incident which people keep on bringing up, where I allowed a minor into my account. In this screenshot, which was practically last year, I was freshly 18. Yes, I started my account or started posting on it the moment I turned 18. Due to this, in the screenshot, I was only 2 months older than this person who was going to turn 18 in just a few days. So I thought, okay, there's not really much of a difference. Sure. Of course, after 1 year of actually having an NSFW account, I now know how to manage it better. As in, yes, now I know that there are no exceptions. You're either 18 and older. If you're younger, you're out. I've been doing my part blocking minors when I see them. However, it will be extremely helpful if minors just stayed out of minor denied places. You got
exactly. But the thing is that they're not going to listen because teenagers, that's just how teenagers are.
Guys can read. I know.
Yeah, I put nudes online and they got leaked beyond my control. It's like
you guys ain't stupid.
He was that's a 2-month age difference, you monster.
Stupid. I know you guys can read. If it says minors denied, don't go in. Don't interact.
It should also be said, though, that as he'd allowed a 17-year-old into this account, which he confesses to within this video,
Can I do a short NTR comic between you, Lyrics, and Lewis? Listen, I'm fine with being not safe for work. I deliberately court that in my audience, but don't do it to other people without it being okay with them.
emphasizes that he was only 2 months older than them and that he was a recent 18-year-old himself. But again, with the concern that he could have intentionally let another minor into his followers, it could still be a problem with new evidence. What he can't so easily brush off though was issue with his deleted tweet stating that in Japan, indecent content was normalized for an 11 to 13-year-old to consume. He tries to argue that this was not him making a defense or excuse for the explicit content that he had shared on this account, and that it was rather in response to a comment made asking him why he thought it was appropriate to post illicit material on the timeline for 16-year-olds to see in the first place, but just an explanation, and that this comment was not meant to argue that what Japan considers acceptable is okay.
I am aware of this screenshot of my deleted tweet is making its rounds around social media.
In addition, erotic clothing and scenes were heavily normalized for young teens to consume, age 11 to 13. That looks bad.
Without the given context, it seems as if I'm using Japan as an excuse for my irresponsible actions. However, that is not the case. This deleted tweet was a response to a person who asked me a question, which was, why did I think posting suggestive art with a bulge was okay in the first place? This question was asked to me after I deleted the overly suggestive art. And
My bad, you good for that, but still, I'd change that 16 plus to 18 if you want to make posts about your pumpkin guy in a thong. I did. I deleted it on here, posted it on my other account. So they immediately corrected the record. So Lewis just chimped it, dude.
moved it into my NSFW account, to which I then explained that based on how I grew up and what I saw, certain things were normalized. I then go on to explain in depth of how highly suggestive material was allowed.
Yeah, maybe he's mixed and he grew up in Japan. That's what that sounds like.
To be consumed by a younger audience from where I grew up, which was in Japan. And that because of that, I thought my content was a lot more tamed compared to that. These tweets were not me using them as an excuse to justify my actions, but rather to explain them to a user who asked me about it. The user asked me, why do you think it was okay in the first place? So I explained to them my mindset, why I had that mindset, and so on. However, as shown in the screenshot, I deleted the tweet shortly after I posted it. Reason being that I realized that it doesn't matter where I grew up. It doesn't change the fact that I was irresponsible with my younger audience, and that I should have not posted such highly suggestive material to a younger audience.
Dude, you guys think English speaking internet is crazy? Dude, think about the different like standards that are held in like different places that speak different languages online, right? Like this is this here, but imagine what like a Hindi speaking audience would say. Or what an Arabic speaking audience would say. It would be a completely different vibe, right? So it does matter where and how you grew up. It matters what language you speak and all that, right? Like it's gonna determine what everybody feels is okay versus not okay. You know, it's gonna be a completely different world. Like this is how it works on the English internet, but I don't know that it works a different way at another place on the internet. I don't know if some of you are bilingual, but maybe it is a little different.
That including of a bulge.
To me, what's said here does not dispute the idea that he was using it to justify or defend his decisions, and him ending this section saying that he deleted this tweet because he realized it did not matter where or how he grew up, and that regardless his behavior was inappropriate and irresponsible, defeated the point of defending this comment in the first place. It should go without saying here, but he deleted this tweet for a reason, and intentionally or not, it could be viewed as him making a defense for sharing indecent content with 16-year-olds on his platform.
Moving on, there are these screenshots that have been shown claiming that I am liking and replying to minors' comments. I have checked both of these accounts.
Yeah, he's probably using the voice thing so he can record in English. Yeah.
Even this one. All three show no indication of their age or their age at all whatsoever in their bio. So I'm not sure how I was supposed to know if they were minor. I'm not even sure how you know they even were a minor, and if you just assumed. However, I will say that during the time I first started this account, and as my account grew popular, I do not and cannot check every single user who comments, likes, or follows my account. Though I do agree that my past behaviors were unnecessary, I did not need to respond to these flirtatious comments, nor did I need to respond in such a manner either. Yes, I agree. I was immature with how I interacted with my fans during the start of my account and throughout, which is why I am and have been working on fixing my behaviors.
His response to the comments he made in response to what was claimed to be several minors in his TikTok section is also not so straightforward. While he emphatically disagrees with criticism for these comments, because the individuals in question did not have their age in bio, and as such he couldn't have known, I think it more than reckless to respond in such a manner on a platform filled with so many underage individuals like TikTok.
That's so like moral flaggy though. Like I can't, like if I interact and I generate, like I'm making content for people that are much older, right? But if like I can't control who does or doesn't show up, and then to put that, like I too many people interact with my content for me to do anything about it. Like that's literally like that's an impossible feat. Okay, like that's stupid.
he couldn't have known, I think it more than reckless to respond in such a manner on a platform filled with so many underage individuals like
how am I supposed to know who to respond to or who not to respond to? I mean, Jesus Christ, if we want to expand that to like the OF girlies, plenty of OF girlies have TikTok accounts that are used to directly advertise their OF account, right? Like that is the purpose of them running a TikTok account, is so that way they could generate leads to subscribe to their OF. And they do respond to flirtatious comments on those TikToks with the idea that maybe those people will subscribe in the future. But it's like, how the fuck, like, you don't know whether or not those people that they're responding to in the comments are adults or not. They're taking the assumption that they are because of the content they make.
TikTok in the first place. As a creator, you should know better. And if you don't know someone's age, that doesn't give you a pass to speak in an inappropriate manner with them. You should not presume. The next of these accusations that he glazes over is the most serious.
I mean, like,
aforementioned
I'll just be repeating that it's just moral flagging.
Conversation between himself and a 12-year-old. He said that beyond not remembering this conversation, he also could not find the conversation in his DMs and believes that the screenshots have been presented in a heavily misleading way that is obscuring much of the screenshot.
Why are people sexting their fans in their first place? I'll say this, like, I know that I deliberately court like that, like I deliberately feed the parasociality of my audience by presenting myself like, I don't know, it's not sexually, but I try to elicit that like kind of emotion from time to time. Like, I'll talk sexy on stream. I've posted thirst traps on Twitter. Like, I'm deliberately trying to do that. Give us the fucking melon, Diesel. The melon is a great example of that. Okay? And it's just like, you could you could easily turn around and be like, "Oh, Diesel's a bad guy because he's saying that he'll that he would fuck some of his fans." It's like, yeah, and but not on Blue Sky. There's no discourse that happens on Blue Sky. It's only like what I want to see in my feed. Yeah, Diesel, but that's your audience as a general whole, not in a private conversation with a single person. Yeah, but a lot of these interactions that we are seeing are just like Pumpkin interacting with his audience. Right? Like, don't get me wrong, there's also Pumpkin interacting in private, but then there's Pumpkin just interacting on social media with the strangers, which is exactly what I do. Like,
could have been used as a reference point to locate it on.
I play Diesel streams in the background whenever I have a girl over for ambiance. I don't know how to feel about that.
On his end, from the time of these messages to their username.
Speaking of which, there has been these screenshots going around saying that I was flirting and talking to a 12-year-old. I will say that I have no memory of these conversation or screenshots or of this user. I cannot find the messages between me and this user, so I can't prove or disprove anything. I do not have a reliable memory due to certain circumstances and substances. But what I do remember is that back when I first started this TikTok account, which was when I was 17, which at this time I had very, very few fans. Because of this, when a fan reached out and wanted to have a conversation with me, become friends, I agreed. So I answered most DMs. Some were casual, some were people venting to me, some were flirtatious. The mistake I made back then, because like I said, when I first started my account, I was still underage, was that I didn't check the ages for the people I was flirting back with. Because in my head, I thought, oh, if someone's flirting with me, they're probably around my age. So I just
Oh my god. Pumpkin, as a minor, was flirting with people over the internet, assuming they were also a minor. This guy could have been groomed in a different reality. The groomer could have been the groomee.
assumed that they were, because I assumed minors should have known better. However, I should have known better and should have been more careful and aware of who I was speaking to.
He very likely was. I know.
He's effectively arguing that this conversation is not real and that the individual involved had faked them. It is uncomfortable how common it is to come across fake allegations in an industry like this, and it's why people should wait for confirmation from both sides before jumping on claims as if they're true. They should do their own inquisition to determine whether the evidence is likely to be trustworthy beforehand. That means burner accounts, low quality screenshots, strange censorship, weird visual errors, and lacking context should be major red flags. Then, he makes an all-encompassing statement where he acknowledges that he had spoken to several people in the past without knowing their age, further admitting that he does not have a reliable memory but is aware that when he first made his TikTok account at 17,
yeah, those screenshots are very not reliable because of so many things that are missing from them.
with basically every fan who would message him. He goes even further than that though, admitting that some of these conversations were flirtatious in nature. Quote, I assume minors should have known better, however I should have known better and should have been more careful and aware of who I was speaking to. Yeah, you can say that again. What I'm trying to work out is whether he added this into the video, just in case the prior screenshots were real, so that he could say that he did admit to behavior like this beforehand, or if he just felt this relevant to bring up. Once again, it should go without saying,
It's relevant to bring up.
Should be aware of the age of individuals that you're flirting with online. I understand that being 17, you may not be prepared to go through all the checks and balances, but not even asking someone is another sign of a troubled handling of this platform from someone who may not deserve to have it in the first place with this kind of dangerous driver behind the wheel. This defense swerves past
This is so stupid. This is so stupid. This is such a nothing burger. This is a 8-minute nothing burger.
most of the concerning claims, but still veers right into oncoming traffic and crashes towards the end.
I have had incidences where a close friend of mine turned out to have lied to me about their age when I asked. One user, who I was friends with for about 5 to 7 months, at first told me that they were 14 when I asked for the age. Halfway through our friendship, I was baffled because we've exchanged certain messages before, which then followed up immediately afterwards. I'm telling me, actually, I'm 20, which sadly...
That's because that person was a pedophile. You were getting groomed. That person was trying to groom you. That person wasn't a minor. They were not 12. They were not 20. They were like fucking 40 and living in Idaho. They were grooming you.
I bought it because in my head, it made sense from what the type of messages they would send to me. Eventually, I hit a time where it was pretty rough in real life, and me and their friendship slowly died out, which later afterwards, I come to find out that they were indeed actually 14 and lied to me for clout. Another one happened on my NSFW account where a mutual of mine who was...
Okay, so they were trying to pedo bait you. Okay, there.
NSFW voice actor and was friends with other NSFW artists.
But Diesel, he's a huge internet person. Which means he's automatically an adult who's capable of grooming everyone.
I don't know where this came from, but there's this like weird attitude online that like an internet influencer is not only a normal person, but also has like a better understanding of people than like a celebrity. Like, it's a reverse groomer. Reverse grooming yet again.
Turned out to be underage. Due to these incidences, a little after I turned 18, which was last year during the summer, I stopped this behavior of personally interacting with people. As in, I stopped replying to DMs. Whether it was DMs supporting me or asking me questions, I stopped interacting with fans personally, even with my own mutuals, which they can tell you how dry I am. I'm there for my mutuals if they really, really need someone to talk to or listen to, maybe a quick chat. Other than that, I mostly close myself off. So although I do not continue that behavior now, I still do apologize for my unprofessionalism.
This guy is apologizing for his unprofessionalism when he was 17. 17 to 18, apologizing for his lack of professionalism. Bro, you should have you would have had your first job like working at McDonald's like a year ago, bro. Like, I can't imagine people are expecting, like, such insane professionalism out of literal, like, babbies.
Back then.
Another unknown allegation that he volunteers.
So it's either sex with everyone or don't talk to anyone. Yeah, that's also, like, a really... But, you know, I will say, dealing in those kind of absolutes, you know, maybe he's on the autism spectrum, you know?
A confession to is in credit to several instances where his close friends had lied to him about their age. The first event was where one of his at-the-time friends had told him that they were 14. He had made flirtatious comments with them and was an adult at this point. Within this conversation, he could be seen saying, "Oh shit, I take back every flirty text I made. I deeply apologize." However, the other party would then retract the supplied age and self-ID as a 20-year-old. He said that he bought this because it made sense in his head, but that after another year of knowing each other, they came clean that they really were 14 the entire time and had lied to him. After the first clue, he
The minor was like, "Oh my god, it's one of my favorite creators. You're talking to me. Oh shit, you're not 18? I'm not going to talk to you. No, I am actually over 18.
should have taken action to not immediately make the same mistake again in this conversation. He did not. That is his mistake. Whether people want to burn him on that cross is up to them, but really, it is once again further proof that he probably shouldn't be in a position to talk to potentially underage people online in the first place. The second event was where one of his NSFW voice actor mutuals had revealed to him that they were underage.
One of his
I'm lost for words.
NSFW...
If these were isolated...
What?
incidents, I could see a reason here, but it cannot be this common to make the same mistake of behaving inappropriately around minors. But I feel that a lot of criticism has to be levied at the kind of person who could do this. And this is a great...
There are probably tons of minors who try to get their way into NSFW spaces, dude. I don't... Like, why wouldn't they? You develop a weird infatuation with like you're a minor, you're developing like affection for like porn you're looking at because your brain isn't fully developed and shit. Like, So what happened, I think, is that the 14-year-old was either baiting or a fan, didn't get the response they wanted, backpedaled, and then when they did get the response, they dropped the nuke. Yeah. Yeah.
Great form of evidence for why you should ID check wherever possible in your adult spaces. He said that because of these mistakes, he stopped engaging with fans wholesale, and he apologized for his unprofessionalism. Starting to approach the end.
Literally, the answer isn't ID everybody. The answer is don't let minors online. Okay, I don't the answer is not like, oh, we should check to see if everybody's a minor when we're no, minors shouldn't be online. That would make it a lot easier. Okay,
This video.
It's the parent's job. Yes.
Now, he discusses the claim that he was faking his race and body type. He makes the assertion that this claim originated from an old video on his social media that people had since its deletion presumed was of him. It was actually of his cousin.
My identity. People have been saying that I've been faking my race, my gender, my age. People have been saying I'm too light. People are saying that I'm white. All this kind of stuff. Reason being is because this video resurfaced and people mistook it as me. This is my cousin. So, quick story on how this account started. Halloween of 2022, my cousin wanted me to paper mache her a pumpkin head. So I did, and along with that, I gave her my suit, which was too tiny for me at that point. After she wore it, she made an animation for it, and she posted a picture for me in my costume. Remember, for me, not of me. After she did, I realized, wait, this could potentially become a character. And given her already having a YouTube channel on Instagram, she's already knew about social media, she is willing to help. And also given that she was quitting her YouTube channel that year because she was burning out, she was enthusiastic and pitched in on, hey, how about we start an account together?
Yeah, dude, Hot Diggity Demon has gotten so much shit over